Today is Sunday evening here, right here in the East Coast. We shouldn't make flour. We shouldn't be. There must be no hatred, no resentment, no bitterness. Yes, water. I thought, welcome to my own sister right there, maybe Frank, and all of you great people. Good evening to welcome. Following from Greenville. Oh my goodness. I'm a son of God too. Poor River used to be my terrain. Good evening, Swent, and welcome to the show. This is the Liberia Public Radio. New political buffer zone is created in the nation's capital of Monrovia. Barely 1 day after accepting the nominations, the political gloves are off. More to come.
When he something here. Number 12. I
Dwell the song said we must be friendly, but how would that friendship hold? Politicians can never be friendly. I don't care how long they stay into coalitions, nothing is guaranteed. And that's exactly what is unfolding right now. You're on your own. Try to hold it up for ourselves. Folks, good evening. Welcome on the first episode of the Liberia Public Radio. Look, Minister Rufus Gay, don't hurt your head. They will not listen. They will not big friends, politicians, and even we natural people as a whole. Things quit to force apart, and exactly what is happening. Barely one day after accepting the nominations, the political gloves on. Tayama Francois and so keeping track. Good evening. Welcome to the show. Let's see how this all started. If we can do some backtracking. Welcome to the show. Good evening. I am Afonso Zianso of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners this quiet Sunday evening right here in the East Coast. Yesterday, it was light up in the West African state. The political marathon for the overall office continued with thousands of seditions in drove from all walks of life assembled in other parts of the country, and the president formally accepted the nomination. We can now say the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency George Manawiye, has alluded and been argumented by seditions 12 years loading. He created a mathematical theory yesterday. 6 plus 6 equal 12. That's the soundbite for his supporter, and that was validated yesterday. So we now know it is official, because it came right out of him. He announced it during his acceptance speech. It went almost 22 minutes and 40 seconds when he uttered the word that he accepted the nomination of his supporters to recontest the higher office of the land. But the roar has been racket, being divisiveness as equivalent to the opposition's the political split. It is natural. We always see that even in the West, politicians get in the throats of others. Well, one of their allies, Senator Prince Yomi Johnson, took the airway international cableweight and alleged and accused the government. And the head of the government is the President of the Republic of Liberia, that his life is in danger. How we got to this point here, is it a surprise to any of the viewers, listeners, or even to the president? I am not sure because some of these words were deployed in the past by Senator Prince Johnson. His unpredictability and his way of speaking. Everybody get their own area where they feel comfortable to fire back. Talking to a close insider sedition, they told us and told the New England Bureau enough is enough and the president will fire back. Indeed, that came to pass today. Behind the pulpit, is that a comfort zone of the president? Is there where he can actually communicate and speak to his base? It doesn't matter. Politicians are very strategic into how they play into the narrative and making themselves to be more secure to make their case to the electorate. Ordinary person will not understand that. They won't. But there are others who deploy specific strategy in order for their message to resonate. And we saw that happening yesterday. And the seditions are very clever and good at making or organizing, putting things together to the extent that it would justify their argument. And you will remember, this narrative has been driven for quite a long while. They hate us. They hate the president. He doesn't know book. He a country guy. He doesn't do anything. And the president has successfully capitalized on that. Because of your support to me in his word, they don't want to see you. Because you support me, they don't want to talk to you. They say, you don't know book because I don't know book. Even though you graduated, you get your master's degree, some of you are doctors. That was sort of strategic way of restructuring his message to hold fire with his base. There's a saying that says better hold fire with what you get than what you do not know. So the president, what he was doing yesterday and what he did yesterday and they continue to do was to hold fire with the figures, the number, and potentially to add up to the number. But then thinking that yesterday after nomination were being the big celebrations at Folklore Church, that did not happen. The president decided to take off his gloves. Enough is enough. Firing back. And it was done strategically. The name wasn't mentioned, but it was done indirectly. So we try to decode the language of the president here. Do I know that someone who killed people? Probably people that you dated to, those are the people that are looking for you. But how this whole thing started and how we got to this point. Is there a 1-year allowance for someone who want to be now will accommodate Prince Johnson? How risky it is to form a political alliance with him. But in the past, he sounded a warning that he told the president that should have gone back to where he came from, where he claimed perhaps some supernatural or the powers of God perhaps twisted the minds of the Liberian people for which the president were overwhelmingly voted for in the 2017 presidential election. So Prince Johnson sounded a warning. But prior to that, he sat with international cable wire. As usual, likes the camera and likes to be in the eyes of the camera. Sounded alarm. Let's take a back track of some of the things. And if it is surprising to you, not to me. I knew at some point in time that we were going to get to this crossroad in the political dispensations in Liberia, especially with Prince Johnson. Let's watch with VOA James Butty, Prince Johnson, speaking to the media, what he thinks and feels, or his sections about now the President of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. George Manawia. Let's watch and see.
He made so much money. We are told $93 million. I stand to be corrected in this amount.
And to be corrected, he's not a Nigerian, but that's him. Let's listen up.
But he made so much money to the extent that the United Nations looked at him and made him what? United Nations ambassador for UNICEF to donate his money to suffering children around the world. How many children in Liberia did he prioritize? Nothing. There's no George Weah Foundation. There's no sports academy. There's no recreation center. There's no public library for public school students. There is absolutely nothing. Money is gone. You want to be president to set over our resources. The same way you mismanage yours, you will mismanage ours. That's what I think. We fear rigging. We fear rigging. If there's a rig election, we fear national civil response by the people of this country.
Fear that she might use her power not to rig for maybe the Unity Party, but for her new favorite candidate
Well,
now.
she's a politician, is a very tricky person.
And Prince Johnson is historically informed. He knows, he get an in-depth histories of happenings in the country. Historically, despite of his past military experiences or whatever, but he's historically informed to the extent that he knows exactly what is happening within and outside of his own political beltland. Let's listen.
A politician is unpredictable. So
is he in that category as well? That his words, politicians are unpredictable. Nothing is guaranteed. They are like a slope. It goes down like this, and if you're lucky, you come down. Other than that, you descend in the lion's den. Let's listen to Prince Johnson.
She might, because her son is in CDC. She might, and then Senator Gbazong Afili, that she has been supporting all along and interacting with, is also in CDC. McIntosh is in CDC. A lot of prominent people from the executive mansion, they are in CDC. So she might be carrying out a diversionary tactics while at the same time be aiming at somebody no one is thinking of.
Which tactic? What tactic? Let's listen.
Nobody knows. Because her second cousin is Bronsky. Bronsky's mother, Ellen's mother were first cousin. So Ellen and Bronsky are second cousin. Okay? So her son is in CDC. All of these people with Ellen are in CDC. So people might say, oh, you know, because her son is in CDC, she might rig in favor. No, she might possibly rig in favor of somebody.
Creating conspiracy theories, innuendos, subliminal messages, false who trying to validate his political argument, which speaks to the volume of his own word. Politicians are unpredictable. So they do anything, they restructure, they remodels and pave the way because they want to bulldoze or in either for their opponents to say this guy could be a good ally and we can do business with him. But he is a guy like riding on the back of an alligator. Let's listen to Prince Johnson.
I've been hearing about perhaps Ellis Cummings. The stranger in the political terrain. But it's possible.
Everybody in Liberia is, of course, praying for peaceful elections. But if there are signs of the kind of rigging that you just mentioned, what is the way forward then?
We want peace. We name peace. We deserve peace. But because we name peace, we deserve peace, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who also signed onto that document, she live by the peace, by being neutral in our election. The only say I believe she can have is to put a one vote, in one vote, but not to interfere. Nobody want to run away. I have established foundation. I have big schools, and they will graduate students every year. They pass wire.
Yes, that's the work of politicians. He's in a comfortable position now, so he's doing everything to protect his world, his college, school, and of course it's true. He built those schools or other places. So he has to do everything to protect them. Let's listen.
We don't want any trouble here, but we cannot spend our millions for election and you go and rig.
So if that happens?
If that happens, there will be a national civil response. A national civil response.
What method?
As a national civil response, they will use the constitution because their peace and their future will be in danger. So they will respond.
Well,
to say no to rigging.
Breaking the fair balance, hearing it unedited. in their own word. Nothing was extracted, nothing was added. You saw it. That was VOA James Botte, Prince Johnson then, prior to the 2017. Was it strategic at the time when he was doing that? Because probably he knew George Weah and the CDC, they were on their way to the White House. So should we create a scenario where it was validate his political argument for the possible inclusion or to form a coalition? Well, the history of coalitions in Liberia has not worked, but this time, the last time around, CDC and the rest of the two parties managed to come together. Since then, sources have been telling us, and we have been seeing on the surface, the relationship has been very fragile. Lately, Prince Johnson accused the government. Names callings started, accused the Law City Mayor Jefferson Koji and others probably after his life. But prior to that, he was always in the media. And you told the president perhaps the presidency came from Nigeria and there was a need that he or the president could have gone back to Reverend T.J. to give testimony or whatever the situation. And that even if the president didn't do that, he, Prince Johnson, would have gone back to tell the Reverend. And he could possibly to withdraw his support from the president or from the coalition. Keeping you honest, fair, balanced, and hearing it from the voice of the politicians. Let's listen to this other tape.
We don't want to remove the president. We just want him to do the right thing. Go back to the men of God. The solution is not reshuffling cabinet. Those you call enemies are not their enemies. They are your brothers. They are Liberians. They want to see Liberia move in a straightforward way. If you don't listen to me, I will travel back to Nigeria to seek advice, whether I should continue my support or I should withdraw my support. You have been set aside. You are no more the crowd or the people you used to be with, Mr. President. Start witnessing Chelsea and Barcelona show. Every time I went there, this is all they were watching. I heard just a few days ago the president want to do reshuffle. That's good. But you may be moving people you think they buy and putting the worst people that will give you pepper and damage the regime. Go to the Prophet T.B. Joshua. You went after you succeeded and became president. The very people who are praying for us not to win are the people now we befriend. They become our Holy Father. If we used to drink, let us leave it and live a holy life. If we used to womanize, let us remember today that not every woman is free of being demon-possessed. You are now a president. But your regime from its starting is characterized by social demonstration, social trouble. Are you asking yourself why is it so? Yesterday, the country giant moving, opposition gave way. The people are now saying they're calling us all of our country devil. He built houses that were burned, zinc houses, to concrete. The same people now voting against the Kennedy and speaking ill about their own son. Whoever is advancing is a wrong advice. So when you don't pray for peace and do the right thing, when things go bad, we are all in danger. My solution to the problem.
This is quite interesting, making recommendation. Well, that's some of the footprints of what has been. It appears this has been breeding out for quite a long while. But apparently the gloves off. From all indications, there is nothing to be proven, according to sources and people that you talk to, that Prince Johnson will, that there will be some sort of reconciliation with the CDC. Yesterday, it became official. The Cuban president, the supporters swarmed the Antonin Tutman stadiums in the heartbeats of the nation's capital, Monrovia, calling on him and accepting the nominations, creating the mathematical theory. They say you don't know book. They say I don't know book. But let me put you to test if you know book. 6 + 6 = what? 12. That has been the arguments of seditions. 12 years loading. For quite a while, we've been hearing that. The president validated that argument yesterday. They've been holding on since Prince Johnson accused the government of threatening to take his life. Politicians like comfort zone. It was a great day yesterday to the seditions. The day went down. Sunday is a worship day. He took the podium and there was no turning back. The president decided to speak. Let's see this. Courtesy of Executive Mansion, crude at 4 o'clock church today in the nation's capital of Monrovia. Let's listen to the president.
Don't mind them. Don't mind them. That will know where I'm here. You got people that thought that they will speak and people will run behind them. That's me. I'm not impressed. People trying to manipulate. I'm not impressed. I'm not blow. People are watching blow. So people don't impress me. Certain people that you bring people every day already, you want to blackmail you. Anybody that don't want to vote for us will not be blackmailed. There's nobody that will ask me for money because they're going to declare for my party. I'd rather get money to the people that when you can speak to them on the table now, they go in your head. You have to let somebody want to kill somebody? Yes, but you forget to know that those that you killed already, the people that maybe they're going to be they're not going it's not our capital. So you cannot go and say somebody want to assassinate you. Who are you? That's somebody will go wrong here. Because nobody want to work with you. You manipulate people every day. You that. Are you infallible? Okay, we know what you can go where you want to go. Now you can say, government market, what government can you? Do you know why you get in the country? We're trying to make sure that everybody wants to do something. You understand? So, we're not afraid of anybody. And the government is not going to be or tied, or blackmailed by anybody. You don't want to work with us? You want to see that. You have other people. And you got to know that the coalition, and the coalition brought everybody on board. If you the leader of the coalition, you give in. You got to deal with all your people. Those that are in the job, those will move in the whole people that come in. Say, oh, we're leaving all that. You must know that they are all out who they're not following them. They got to stick for your own livelihood, your children, and your family. Don't mind them. Don't mind them. When you follow them, because you think that they can drive you, then all people that are coming, you are in the space. This of everybody.
Let's take a break and we'll be right back.
Do you want to share your events with the world? Why not contact us? We are Liberia Public Radio, LPR. We are the specialists in advertisements, commercials, radio and TV services. We have the professionals that can help you sell your products and provide live coverage of all events, such as weddings, conventions, graduations, reunions, anniversaries, sports, birthdays, baby showers, religious activities, funerals, and many more. Take your phone right now and call any of the following numbers: 682-433-8802, 267-648-6089, 484-786-3337, or 916-533-2048. Our customer service representatives are waiting to take your calls and give you the needed assistance. It is LPR, the home of excellent media services and your friends in business.
All right. Good evening, folks. I'm Alfonso Z and so of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Some of the analysts will join. Let us scramble over this new development. Distractions occurring on a daily basis. That is making us to talk this thing because news is about current events, something that is taking place. And right after the acceptance speech of the president, this is something that is happening. And it is important that we have this discussion. We have to talk about it. Does the president have an argument? Is he lying on what he's saying? Is he making up? Is anybody out after Prince Johnson? How this political union, how was it formed? Probably, and I could guess, and beside guessing, there are other things that we also know about. It appears Prince Johnson is not getting what he wants, or the ruling establishments or the coalitions or CDC is not playing in his narrative. So the cannon back has already been broken and things falling apart and everybody is on their own. And that's what happens. There were other people appointed by the president. And then Senator Prince Johnson denied those people. A perfect example of one that I really, really know about is Assistant Superintendent for Development for Nima County. Prince Johnson argued that he's not an Nimayan. He's not from Nima County. He's not his partisan. And so he was never allowed. Well, fair to mention, what were the terms and the conditions with Senator Prince Johnson and the CDC in forming this coalition? Senator Johnson has argued that appointments of folks from Nima County is 60%. I don't know how true it is. No one yet has validated that argument. Or folks from Nima County appointment, what constitute that? So even if it is 60%, what specifically is involved in that percentage in terms of positions that could be allotted to his party or his supporters? The gentleman, Mr. Campbell, who is also from Nima County, lower to Nima County, but Prince Johnson argued that he's not a son. There were multiple meetings, conversations, edits from Lower Nima County, both in Nima, in Morovia, and up to this point, that appointment was rejected. It did not go into Section 4 confirmation. So as a result, he never got that job. So what was the agreement? How they got to this point? Is it a surprise to you? Now the question becomes, Prince Johnson and his party will be a free political commodity. But he's a very smart guy. Probably he forecast that this thing would have happened. So he stepped aside, knowing full well also being slammed with a sanction from Uncle Sam, which led him not to take the positions as chair in the Senate security affairs on security. He brought the face of Jeremiah Cohn and positioned him as the new face of his party. But what is if influence still with this party? Is Cohn there, or is he seeking some political protection? No one is off the radar when it comes to Prince Johnson. Cohn was hate, boycott, Benana Ure, and now the alligator eating your own baby. Well, one time in a good political honeymoon, but now things the central could no longer hold and things falling apart. And here we are today. When we have the manifestos of these politicians and stakeholders and those that are contesting, well, we now know the CDC will maintain Chief Dr. Joel Howard Taylor as the vice presidential candidate seeking. We yet to know about Mr. Cummings and that of former Vice President Joseph Newmont Boyka. It puts the media, if not all, in a volatile situation as to how we can have a concrete conversation to what these people represent, what they intend to replace what is on hand. Yes, replacements is good, but we also need to know what you bring in to replace with the current one that we have. I would be interested in knowing your education, at how much you intend to invest in education, agriculture, infrastructure. I do not believe in big size government. All of them have tons of these young people that are all behind them. Are they coming to also increase the size of government? And if they would downsize government, how they intend to do that? Those are consequential questions that these politicians and those who want to take the higher office of the land, they need to have that conversation. What is the future of the young generation? We don't know where Helen Johnson started the demobilization process with the millions of dollars invested by the international community. We don't know how many were properly demobilized, counseling, and all of that were provided. How many persons? What is the figure? So those are coming. How do they intend to address those issues? The only presidents that fought and introduced a system where Liberia should feed herself was the late Samuel Kanyando, the Green Revolution process. What happens to that? Can it be modified? Can it be revisited? Well, Lpr senior contributors and analysts from the far right of Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia is always noted of asking for extra vote to put them on top to get to the White House. Yeah, Donald Trump, he plays that call. So the people from Atlanta, Georgia, too, when we're talking to them, we got to be very careful. But Amos George, hopefully he's not one of those. He's joining me now from Atlanta, Georgia. Let me just bring him here to let us get to the rhythm. Amos George, good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. So. How you doing? And to our listener audience.
Good. Okay. What the nomination was accepted yesterday. And so right after it, you have to show strength to your base, to your supporters. So the gloves up, because we're just having a conversation where CDC responds, or would there be any response by the allegation by Senator Prince Johnson? Well, today the president was in his comfort zone, in his edifice. And after you, maybe that the people who, welcome to the show. This seems to be going to be an ugly thing here. It's going to be an ugly fight, right? And let me just say that maybe it might sound ridiculous and people might flip, or well, when you flip, or just get something and cool yourself. George Weah should not be underestimated. And that I see the fault of the opposition. Because he has a specific way or skill of communicating to his base, language that he will speak, and they will fully understand, they will embrace it, they will edify it, and they will cheer it out. You saw the political mathematical theory yesterday that he used, right? 6 + 6, that has been the argument. He said, the people say, we don't know book. I don't know book, so you're following me. It might sound stupid, it might sound silly, but these people who are now finding their right tone, language, voice to be persuasive, and even go in the corridor of the very CDC and make an argument, the opposition, they are unable, they are not being successful to do that. I thought Louis Brown, your guy, the guy you support, could have been a perfect person, but in the middle of organizing something, he has submerged. He's not, he's underwater. So that is the problem. So if these people, if they are not careful, in as much people have this sort of discontent of some of the policy, which of course needs to be talked about, but if they can't find the right voice, tone, and language to make this case to the argument. And remember, CDC has been very successful because they said they hate this president. That's how they sees it. And the soundbite of some of these people seems to be moving in that direction. So that's something greatly they are trying to capitalize on. Here we are. From this one here now, Bakuba, he has now responded to Prince Johnson. But today, like, you know what? To occupy the higher office of the land, sometimes you have to take the political risk. Two things involved. You either get it or you lose it. So he got to fire back. And trust me, seditions, CDC, their supporters in and outside, in the next coming days and week, they will slam Prince Johnson big time. You saw Roosevelt down here yesterday. I wouldn't be surprised, Michael Gilmore, the Prince Sheriff. Well, people will say that this, that, but you saw what happened to Eugene Fagon, who was a mouthpiece and later on turned like a renegade soldier now. This is it. But let me just bring you in here. Will we see more of this here now? The president, he's on the ballot now, so he's fighting for his political life as well.
Yeah, we'll see more, but
How should maybe Prince Johnson or the oppositions, should they get in the middle of this political argument?
no, it's not time for opposition. Prince Johnson is in the opposition now. But Mr. So, here's what happened. There's a slippery slope person where it's trying to go down.
How?
We said the other day, you don't need to respond. Maybe your surrogate, other people can respond. But you're not going for tete-a-tete with Prince Johnson. I listen to Portion A.
What is the risk there?
Listen, Nema County. Let me say something here. Prince Johnson, we all go after him because what happened. But politics is travel. Politics is travel. And going down, I see here who they will put to match Prince Johnson in Nema County from the CDC. We can say all the things. If Prince Johnson stand up to his people and say, look, yes, I know I didn't do all what you wanted. I never did everything. But look what I stood for you people. In fact, they have a further use in Mana, they call him Mana, they call him liberator. The people from Nema. So, President today, I listened to a Portion A telling, hey, I don't need you, you can go anywhere. Extorting money from people is not me. I will not do it. But then, how come you went into collaboration with this man for the past 6 years?
We don't know the political treaty that was signed.
Yes. And Mr. So you should know. You don't have to see the document.
So then how do I know? How can I make that argument?
Listen, in every political situation, in every contract you go into, negotiation, there has to be concession made.
Mm-hmm.
Are you telling me that Prince Johnson, the Joe and son will support you? You will not give anything in return. And this thing I will call it gentleman understanding, trust. I support you. When you win, you get all this. Yes, it's not on paper. That one, it don't go on paper. It's trust. And that's how the political arrangements are made. Okay, you support, will give you 3, 4, 5 cabinets for your party. And it's not only president that's saying this thing. Mr. Ellis Talo alluded to it yesterday. The same thing. So, to come on now and say, hey, we don't need this guy. He led to extort money from people because those are the kind of jabs you're throwing. So, are you telling me the first round supporting, did you give him money? If you didn't give him money, then how can you know that he stole money from people? So they can bash Prince Johnson out, but they're saying, woman, you're in bed with politically. Yesterday, you're in bed with her for 6 years or 5.5 years. You didn't see all the character? Or because you wanted power, so you're trying to use the lady, I will put it that way. You try to use this figure because you wanted power. Since you are sending the power, so you don't need the lady again. So you say, oh, now that one you see, that one you find out she's ugly. So that's a slippery stroke for them. And take it from me, you will hear more from Prince Johnson because he's going to fire back. So it will not benefit President Weah. Because remember, President might be hit by some Nemadian. But not everyone, and you going after him and say, oh, so the man used our man. He got what he wanted, and now he threw our man under the bus. That is a risky strategy they're working on now. What we say is he will just remain quiet, let his boss do the dirty work. Then he be like the big guy.
Are you saying, but those were grave allegations? The guy, I would have slammed the government if the government also remain quiet when somebody says that they are after me, they want to take my life, to remain quiet, to ignore him when he spoke on international cable wire.
Oh yes, I mean the minister of information or the party, anyone who take that time, but that what you can do.
We also always have the argument that sometimes when it even happens, we also always say it while the president can't speak. Where they are. Now, I'm coming. I'm going to give you a chance. Well, I'm not a favor of where he went to channel his communication, but also more politicians are very strategic in terms of where they feel comfortable they can communicate. If I were the president, probably I would sit in the Oval Office and have a press conference. But there's a reality of it? There's a reality of it? Okay, let's see here. I think this is going to be quite interesting here. Let me see. Yeah, go ahead. Let me get this.
So, and the person always does this thing. He called into the edifice, into the church. And I always said, this is not right. You have the bullet pulpit. You can use your office. You can use writing to address some of the issue. But why always go into the church to take a shot at other politicians? Hey, the church is a different place. Even when he took a shot at Alexander Cummings. You didn't get that part? He took a shot at Alexander Cummings. He said, when I walk in the street, when I come in the street, nobody come out. Some people wanted to compare themselves with me. Then he said they stole money from him. He lied on that big ball.
Look, guys, politics is a very dangerous. It's a very dangerous thing. He's not going to praise. It's like you're going to look for a woman. You think when a woman you will go talk about a woman cross eye. They are in a fight. So we're going to see some ugly wars coming.
Yeah, but I'm saying he took a shot at him. I'm not saying that's his right. And if anybody feel that they will respond to him too. But what I'm saying, this fight now between he and Prince Johnson, it will get water, it will get deepening because the gloves are off.
Okay, Prince so with the history of Prince Johnson, nothing remains in secret. We saw him even how he recorded ledger who he has not seen the president, blah, 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 blah. What? Politics winning is all about numbers. Can any of these people to really do business with this guy, saying what is unfolding now? It means you got to keep your one eyeball open and one. You should even keep it wide. Can they do business with this guy politically?
Yeah. Yes, the thing is so. Why you see the delicate Osana is because President Weah didn't want to play hardball with Prince Johnson, and Prince Johnson is not buying to it again. Like the issue he raising about the 7.5 million for Nema County development funds. He go and say, hey, see, because I talk for the money business, you see what the people doing, you see what the people doing.
Okay, now let me hold you there. You know, Prince Johnson, he's also full of these sort of tactics, and he's an old gorilla guy, so he mixed them with politics and do the. Now, he been in there ever since. He's talking about he saw a no 150 million. Years we've been arguing this thing here. We all wanted to know what was the standings. But you are in the first branch of government and you have been part of this coalition. Why all of these things now that you have not come out to say all of this here or seek a consensus in the Senate? They are in majority. This is the laziness of sometimes the opposition, I guess, sick about it. They are unable to create a conversation where they can even get a support and influence other people, some of their other colleagues. But you never see them. They don't talk to one another. All they do is jab and it's all about themselves. Why he did not made all of these arguments to make sure here now the train has derailed and he's coming up with his sort of true confession, so to speak.
Yeah, but he was laying conditions now. That's what that's what the negotiation about. Hey, you owe the girl, they don't will do that. And they say, hey, we can't do it.
Was
But
that
let me tell you something.
was that in the interest of the country because he didn't get what he wanted, so he coming
No,
now?
not the country as a whole, but for his country. Because those ones. But let me say, Mr. So, the Senate, I will not call it, I call it the individual bodies. All those senators there, they fight for what they can get. So if there's something one senator introduced, once they don't have interest in it, they're not going to back it. How many times you have seen those senators? 7, 8 coming together and say, this is what we support. You don't see them. Anytime you see them doing something, is what? Is something that will benefit them. Either they sign with the ruling party that they will get some other aid, so they say, hey, my man, we'll go with the majority, the larger goal. We'll get what we're supposed to get. They are not being people who to stand up for their country. That's why the country is all about themselves. Because this issue, you have Russell, Basel, Bomb, Neymar. Why is it that 3 countries could not come together and say, you know what, Mr. Protein, or bombing, hate bomb, because they all got minus concession. Those are 6 countries. Why they going to come together? 6 countries, that 12 senators, and say, look, our people need the money. It's not government money.
Why you think they didn't do that?
That's what I'm telling you. Corruption.
So Mr. Joy, this is also make the perfect argument we all been making here. It's not just all about the presidency. Let's say Ellis Coleman would make him a president here today. It's a sort of convoluted conversation here to have it. It's not like here, because if you don't even have the support of the, say Ellis Coleman or Joseph Boyka becomes president today for discussion purposes, and the influencer is in both houses right now, and you have CDC or the coalitions, we leave it as it is for conversations still remain there. How you think their agenda even going to push? And that's why we are saying why these people they do not have this sort of political ideology, and that's the difference with sedition. I don't care what you do, what you say. For some reason, there is a covenant from that circumstance, and I want to believe when young parents say we need to go back, we sleep, we need to go back. In the USA, outside of USA, they get a cause, whether we believe in the cause, what they are doing or not, but there is something that they have that sort of conviction that they believe in this guy and he's doing everything. I see few of our people. I see few of the other side, less of it is happening. And that's a problem.
You can't take that from them. Sedition, they rally, they are united when it comes to the cause. But the question you're asking, if things remain as is, if Honorable Boakai or Cummings or Tehran Congo become president, I can bet you 100% Abacha will not be President Putin. Buffer Chima will not be.
No, but Josh,
yes.
Why would you be surprised at? We see why, and they kick him off on the Foreign Affairs Committee. We see it happening here.
Mr. So I'm coming there. Remember, CDC is not in majority in that Senate. If you count the opposition, they fall in majority.
So then, how come they are in strategic committees?
Because this is why this is why I tell you, the people are corrupt. They are self-centered. It's not about thinking about the constituency. It's always about themselves. They put themselves right before. Because I had checked that number over and over. Then I said, but why? These people sit down there and allow everything to pass. Why? It's because you have made on TJ. We confront people. So we can say already to get a job.
From Unity Party, right?
Yeah, we confront people. So what happened? If the Protein call you and say, hey, look, I understand, but my man, I will put you in the committee. It's a powerful committee. If you support us. The man say yes. They put you in the committee. What will he say again? So these are the problems the people of the country are facing. It's not just presidency, it's that capital building. There's also a deeper corruption. Because, Mr. So, you are helping me see this thing. I said, okay, CDC got the presidency. Why within your rightful mind, you will give the president pro tem to CDC, the speaker to CDC, the deputy speaker to CDC?
What are you talking about, Amos Joyce?
Which
president doesn't want what? What I'm saying. Let's be real here. Which president who doesn't want their agenda to be pushed?
But this is what I'm coming from is that these people were not. The CDC was not in majority.
Yeah. So the question now, you need to ask. You need to ask the opposition. They were in majority. Some of them claimed they were independent, but they went and they got converted. How they got converted? We yet to know that story. So why would you want to blame them?
No, I'm not blaming them. I'm saying the opposition sat down there and they saw themselves.
And I will tell you, they are sitting down again because I yet to see Joseph Boyka, Ellis Coleman, politics. And this is why our political institutions don't survive, because they lack the visions of creating an avenue where the political party will sustain. That's why you don't have NDPL. With all the how many years rule, they never kept people in the place. They do not believe in the ideologies of the party, of the institution. But guess what? Like he coming alluded on this network, if he can't get his political will through after this year, that he's going to be focusing on his what? On his foundation. So then what becomes the fate of the ANC? You need to have stalwart people. I don't care when the going gets tough and the tough gets going, they will believe in the ideology of the party. I don't care. On some bad days, they will remove you from committee. You will, whatever you would, whatever sanction will come from in the system because of your party, they will stay there. But guess what? The party voice will continue to be heard. So what happens if they don't even, if ANC or United Party cannot afford to even elect the 73 seats at stake, if they can't even afford to get about 30 or 35 or 40% of that, what becomes the party? You don't get a president, you don't get a presidency, you don't have the first branch of government, both houses, then that's a problem.
Yeah, but
your party drowned. Then as a result, these people, they go to the winning party.
No. You see, Mr. So, this is the problem. Why go to the winning party? Because, Mr. So, most of the thing is driven by greed. I'm elected by my people to represent them. I'm being paid. If you don't put me on a committee, I will stay there to speak for my people. I don't need to be on committee to speak for my people. I don't need it. If you give it, okay, once I'm in minority, so I don't expect me to get any powerful committee. But why I should be there is to represent my people, to advocate on my people behalf.
Yeah. There's a disadvantage part too. These committees, people are in this major committee. There's a reason you have to create some sort of rapport with the executive branch of government so that your agenda will also pass. Because when you are not on the committee, you almost more or less you become like a spectator. How will you go about? How will you even lobby with your people?
Mr. So,
besides what do you?
You don't need. Let me say this. We know that if the party in power,
I think let me create this open forum. I'm going to put a link out here. Anybody who wants to come on here this evening here, just have your say. Yeah, go ahead, Pa George.
We know that the ruling party, most are control in majority of the powerful committees. Not most, they control the committees. So if you are in minority, you should expect that you will not be put on any powerful committee. But because of that, just to be on a committee, a powerful committee, you go and side with that group. You are compromising your core value. You are compromising your core value. You can stay where you are and advocate. Make sure that what you say, let your people hear you. Because you are preparing your constituent and the country that this is what's happening. But these people, by the time you look, all of them go, they say independent. By the time they win, then all of them slide or they're going back to CDC. But if you knew that this institution,
How can we contain it? By the way, folks, if you are washing and you're in a comfortable place, don't be laying down in bed or whatever. You can copy that link, copy and paste it on your device. And if you want to join the forum here, this is Liberia. I think we all have the right to talk about it. You also have your voice into this here. I'm getting a message here. Somebody going to be joining us here very shortly here. Yeah, but go ahead. So how can we hold these people, Mr. George?
Hey, the only thing you can do is to look for people who people think they share like-minded people like you.
Why you want to look for that?
Oh, Mr. So, not every senator or representative they have crossed capital CDC, but most of them have done so. There are other independent senators who there, but the voices are it's been swallowed in the House of Representatives and in the Senate. Because I said from the beginning, from get going one, the mistake the opposition made, there was what? Take one of those powerful chairmanship, speaker, but they all, the MPP, the all United Party, all sat down there. MPP party were gone already because Joe Howard is vice president, so obviously they were all on our route. But the other party should have sat down there and say, hey, we can't give the people the vote. They will not have the vote to elect the president pro tem. We're not getting a vote to elect the speaker. We got to back him with them. The opposition will say, hey, this is the trade. But everybody sat down there, they voted because they said brown envelope will pass. Now, you are giving the people power. They are on all the committees. You can't say anything. Ways and Means chairman, CDC. In the House, chairman executive, CDC. In the Senate, chairman executive, CDC. President pro tem, CDC. Speaker, CDC. Deputy speaker. But what can you do there?
Mr. Joyce, if Unity Party wins it today, if ANC becomes a majority, people that are there because they are in control of the House, we saw what happened here. They will kick them out. I mean, that's it. You want your
Mr. So that's a normal rules.
So
but what's happening?
Who is responsible for that?
You're missing the point here. CDC did not win majority of this seat.
I know about it, but what I'm saying, why left the transformation? Why these people? What was the standing? And this is what we are saying now. It is time these political leaders, because at the end of the day, we don't know who. We don't even know who they who are contesting, and that's another slippery slope. Because if you have a strong candidate, let's say for ANC, you have a strong candidate in Grand Bassa or in Nima or whatever, Bon County or Unity Party. Do you think you have to go there all of the time? No. You have a candidate there who will also canvass and all will be also selling your agenda, but they are not doing it now. So let get them to presidency today, and they are unable to be in charge of the House. How effective would that be? They will work.
Mr. So I mean, look, that's a happen. I don't want to go there because if you're the president, you can turn hand around. You can turn hand around and you would get your most of the people.
Okay.
So I can tell you.
Let me the conversation get interesting here. This is Liberia and Liberia Public Radio, so we need to do this here. I did this purposely because I want to see my guy surfacing here this evening. Mr. Control, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. So, and good evening, Mr. George. Thank you so much for bringing me on the show. I'm following the show and I enjoy it. It's a great show.
Okay.
The topic, the part of the show that really interests me is the issue about the Liberian legislature and that of the executive branch of government.
Okay, let's hear from you.
The problem we're having in Liberia today is that I'm not sure if this is by the Constitution, but it kind of, I'm dumbfounded by the fact that the majority in both houses end up being the minority in both houses.
I love that. Majority end up being minority. How that happen?
Exactly. Because I think it would have worked properly if we had it in a way that the executive branch would not take over the entire leadership of the legislature. I think it should be by those that have, or whatever party that have the majority, whether it's in the Senate or in the House, should carry the leadership of that part of the branch or the first branch of government. For instance, if we have majority opposition in the House of Representatives, and the executive, and then that's the speaker of the House is from the opposition, it would have been easier to put the executive in check, but that is not the case.
All right, caller, hold on 1 second. Let him, Mr. Control make it fair. You go ahead, Joe.
The speaker is from the CDC. The deputy speaker of the House of Representatives is from the CDC, and these are the people that set the agenda for the House. So when the president agenda come in, they will be the one to bring it on the floor. If they don't allow it to come on the floor, it wouldn't come there.
Absolutely.
They set the committees and the head of the committee of the House, of both houses. So that, to me, that making it difficult for even the opposition to function properly. And I think it is the fault of the opposition. I think they should be fighting to take the leadership of the whatever house it is, whether the Senate or the representative. If they make the majority, they should carry leadership of it. That way, it will create a check and balance.
Okay, so then you see my argument before I go to the caller. You see my argument. I was saying now these guys, the Cummins, the boycott, they are contesting, but we don't even know the people that are going to be, because the thing about it, you need to, politics is all about trust and loyalists. You need to have a loyalist. You need to have people who will be loyal to you, and you put them there. It doesn't matter what I will be certified that they are there to push my agenda if I'm the president. But I will come to you. Let's go to this caller here online. 67 to number 995 945. Thank you so much for calling. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, Mr. My name is Prince Cole, calling from Maryland, Baltimore.
Maryland, Baltimore. How are you today? Welcome.
Thank you for having me, sir. I just want to make my contribution concerning Prince Johnson and the president issue.
Okay, go ahead. Have your voice.
Yeah, I just forgot about the fact that in studio there will use his name.
Oh, Mr. George, the man he's from the far right, from that.
Yeah, I listened to Mr. George, and I listened to him very well, talking about Prince Johnson and the president going down a slippery slope. I disagree with that. Because if you see the issue about Prince Johnson has gone 2 terms in the county. That's 18 years. The people are not willing to keep Prince Johnson for another 9 years.
How you know?
I tell you the fact. I got my parents in Nima County there. I speak to them on a daily basis. The Nimanian no longer want to keep Prince Johnson for another 9 years. If you see, but normally, Mr. Zoe, you will agree with me. Our people, they don't care for more than 3 terms in that country. Now, the issue here about Prince Johnson, if you see Prince Johnson and the president now going at local here, it all started from the censor issue when Prince Johnson was knocked down by the censor, when the American United States government put censor on him, the president decided to distance himself from Prince Johnson. And Prince Johnson has been 14.
Okay, yeah, probably I'll make a point quick. Prince Johnson.
So if you look at Nima County now, there are a lot of people in the past Prince Johnson has suppressed in Nima County there, and they're all now with the president. President has got a lot of influence upon the people there in Nima County.
Okay, so let's make a long story short. Let's give it a short pants here. So in other words, the president is right for saying what he said. Do you support the action of the president?
Yeah, I support the action of the president because you Prince Johnson as an element of
all right,
the
we're having
president.
a noise background there, and I think that's something. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, that we're having a lot of feedback from back there. All right. Let's see this number here. 405 number. Go ahead. 30 seconds, please. 450 number. Are you there? 405. Sorry.
Hello, Mr. So.
Yes. 405-341-18.
Hey, Mr. So. Good evening.
Good evening. Hey, Michael.
How about Joy?
How you doing?
Yeah, Mr. So, thank you for the show, and thanks to the panelists, including Pat George. I know the other guy he just gave me, but I just want to make my contribution towards the our country, the governance of the country.
Go ahead, please, 30 seconds.
Mr. Zo, the legislature is another place, is a different place to work. I agree that the ruling party was in minority, but when you look some of the committee, like the Ways and Means Committee in the Senate, Primordial, there are a lot of key committees. Not management on the judicial reform in the party. So these are the agreements that they made with the executive. You take certain committee, you give me the speakership. You take certain committee, you give me the president pro tempore. So these are the agreements. Even today, I can tell you, Mr. So today, tomorrow, there is another committee win. It will be the same thing because there is no president want to sit down in the executive majority in Liberia, have opposition as a speaker, have opposition. Yes. You saw what happened, Madam Salih, with every startup. You saw what happened with Madam Salih with every snow. She fought every snow, but after the guys went to Ghana for the training when they came back, all the lawmakers that came back had every snow t-shirt under the jacket when they arrived on the RIA. They went straight and elected every snow as speaker. Madam Salih was not satisfied. And she removed every snow, which she put there at the startup. So this is common. Pat Joy, I'm begging you, you must pass. But if Alexander Kumin that you supporting today, if he wins the election 2023, the same thing will happen. Look, I just want to say every time we see the senators and representatives, they are criminals, they are rogues, they don't care. Look, it's difficult in there.
They don't know.
That's the reason why our brothers they don't fail. Because you fighting 29, you are looking for 29 people. That's the problem.
Thank you.
Before I leave this also, you saw Kabila Janet case, 9 senators had a press conference, said they will not vote. After they left on that press conference, what happened? 6 or 7 flips. They put that in Kabila Janet.
The negotiation, people say.
The negotiation,
in the US, people stay there overnight to
so, I don't want you to say, every time people see, talk to these people, they are criminals, they not care. It's difficult in there. It's difficult. In the Senate, 73 people, you are looking for 72 people. If you become senator today, you do the same thing. Thank you, Mr. So. I listen to the show.
All right, thank you so much. Let's go to the other number here, then I'll go back to my panelists here. 605, are you there? No, 763 number, 7242, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Mr. So.
Okay, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Elvis calling from Minnesota.
Elvis, welcome to the show. Go ahead, let's hear from you quickly.
Yeah, thank you. Quickly, I just want to say, when this whole Prince Johnson agreement with the CDC happened, the money that he received from the CDC allegedly, did he share with the people of Nimba? Did he use it for the developmental fund? And also, let's not forget this rhetoric that he's been spewing these few days with the Southeastern people, talking about how there's no beautiful building in the Southeast. We don't develop. Only the people of Nimba can develop. All type of things he's been spewing. This guy's a divisive figure. We've known that. So if he's going to try to threaten the government and threaten the president, he's under sanction. He's a persona non grata. He's not to be dealt with by this government. So this president hands his tie. Even if he wanted to deal with him, he can't deal with him. But Prince Johnson has shown his true colors with the rhetoric that he's spewing. So as people who are level-headed, we should look at it for what it is. It's greed. And the people in Nimba shouldn't be fooled. Don't let this one man divide you and turn other people against you.
Thank you so much.
Let the political process play out and let the chips fall where they may. Thank you again for taking my call.
Thank you so much. Okay, let me go back to the panelists, Amos George and Mr. Conte.
Hello?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead. I didn't see your number.
Yeah. This is Nagamo. How you doing, Mr.
Marco, how are you? Yeah. The lost and found man.
I'm okay. It's a long time.
I know.
I've been on the show. Happy to be listening to tonight. First of all, let me say hi to Pa George. How you doing, Papa? Good man, Nabo.
Yeah, for now. What you?
They now open Bon County.
So Iparag
really?
Hey, Pa George. I remember. I know we're passing YouTube. There's something we've got to understand fundamentally, education. We forget that civics is not being taught in our schools. And the educational aspect of that particular subject in the particular field, the lawmakers will help them how they call it, understand what they should do and what they shouldn't do, how they look at their power and what their power can do and how they can work with the executive. But most of the people in the current legislature there, they are almost like people who don't have that foundation. Even if they had that foundation, it came in at a time where the country was not very stable. So they are not really, balanced in arguing for what the country really wants, because it's not what they went there for. They went there for money and other stuff and greed and things like that. And when it comes to this, money is being given to Prince Johnson alleged by George Weah back then when they went through negotiation. And Prince Johnson constantly says he's not the kind of play to play God. I'm not paid to play God, So it's a thing that people came out and said George Weah to receive money from Bronson back then when we hear rumor that they're going to form a coalition. So unless it's proven, we shouldn't be using the kind of words there, because the both parties, Prince Johnson group, when you were with CDC, it was all glorious days and stuff like that. Now he's no longer part of that. Now he's been called killer. The only thing that really break my heart is that the two candidates or the two public figures are using the church, to vent out their frustration on one another.
So many we are getting. Thank you so much.
That's the only thing. So really, the lawmakers, if we want to have a better lawmaker, the black people should let people who really understand government, how the country runs, the power they have. They should find those kind of people, or else nothing will come out of there.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Why you have people that Joe mentions and other people? Let's come back here. Let me move this here. I think 3 is okay here. Let me move this here. Joe, let me come back to you here. Now with this, and it's the what his name Everson. He quite correct. Why you think there was 11 or 12 votes before Kevin McCarthy got to that place? It's because the other folks, they are different wings, but that's not the case in our country, right? These people, they wanted to make sure that their side is also protected. There is a reason why you think Umar screaming and crying. They can't have you if you are not one of them. They can't put you in those committees. And this is one of the things some of us frown on. When Darius Dillon came in, he should have been the game changer, but he was playing to the wavelength of his base as well. He started off by calling his colleagues. You need to be, it doesn't matter. When you stay 18 years and you can't create a whole match to say, oh, I tried, but they put on that, it doesn't mean damn thing to me, to be honest. When he started calling his colleagues spineless, how can you say with the senator of Maserati? How can you say with the other lawmakers from the lower house for you to have a conversation when you are already demonizing? That's not how politics works. It's give and take. I'm waiting to see one of these days where Darius Dillon will ask Senator Sir Joseph to have a lunch. I'm waiting to see when Akaras Gray and Yeka Koluba for the good of the country. But it doesn't happen. But they are supporters. We all have to edify these sort of bad behaviors of these people and the thing they are fighting. And when you fight like a hero, you die like a mean bad man. Koto, let me come to you. Do you think yet Amos Joy said the presidency is working on a slope? I don't want to hook up with anybody who is unsanctioned, and that's where I think this is a crucial one for any of these.
Well, Mr. So, I think I agree with Mr. George, and here's why. The question is, when did Mr. Weah realize that Mr. Prince Johnson or Senator Prince Johnson was a bad person? When did he realize that Senator Prince Johnson was a killer? When recently as last week or week before last, when he has sent a high power delegation to Senator Johnson to beg him so that he can stay within the coalition. Why did he do that?
So
Look,
okay, go carry on, Joe.
Here is the thing. You cannot marry the woman you say you're in love with the woman. You only know the woman at night, but you don't want to be seen with the woman during the daytime. What sense does it make? And that's the kind of reality, that's the kind of thing that George Weah wants to do. Okay? George Weah told the Liberian people that he took over a broken economy, and that the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government left nothing in the Liberian, government coffer when she left office.
Mhm.
Ellen Johnson Sirleaf came back and countered that and told him that, look, if you use the Liberian poor money, just take my name from there. Okay? Now, then Prince Johnson now came back going at George Weah, because let's not forget, George Weah has stopped talking to Mr. Prince Johnson since 3 years ago.
That's what Prince Johnson said.
Yeah, since 3 years ago. And I believe Prince Johnson, because Mr. President Weah and his government have not disputed that. Right? But then it happened that the coalition document expired in October of last year. Now Mr. Weah is going back for re-election. He wanted to hold. Well, you can't go to the man in the nighttime because you say he's under sanction. You don't want to associate with him, but then you're sending people to him to talk to him so that he can stay with you. The thing is, either you are in or you are out. You cannot have it both ways. Okay, so another caller talked about the people of Nima not willing to vote Mr. Prince Johnson. That's not true. Especially when the people are attacking, the government is attacking Prince Johnson, where it has been alleged that they tried to assassinate him and all that kind of thing. The Nimalian, the people of Nima are going to rally around him. The more they do that, the more they push the Nimalian towards supporting Mr. Johnson more. We have seen that in the past. So where we are right now, like on the issue of the removal of Cabinet General, at the time when it happened, the Weah-led government had just taken office, and at the time, everybody who were trying to run for elected office in Liberia were afraid of George Weah, because why? George Weah was the man. Whenever he held somebody hand up, that person won by landslide. So he coming from the 2017 election and taking office in 2018. None of those senators or none of the people wanted to be in a way that George Weah was going to remove them from office. So there was some fear factor in there. But the point, the fact of the matter is, it is always good to do the right thing, even when no one is watching. The senators and the representatives that are serving in both houses should be there to do the right thing, regardless of what. They should stand their ground and abide by the Constitution and do the right thing. And that's my attitude about that.
Okay. Well, look, politics is a very dicey. If you are wearing diaper, you are toddler, you can't jump in politics, especially in this high-profile position. I mean, of course, I think everybody have a very important saying in this whole thing, and you're making a very good argument. But here is the deal: you can easily surrender to when you find out that the relationship is no longer holding. Then I can also argue, or the sedition will also argue, okay, all the time you saw all this here, you are in the center, you are influential person. Why all of this time now till this whole thing comes to a collapse now before you trying to blow a trumpet as well? That's what they're going to be saying. But the bottom line here, the president also realized, remember, 3 senior ministers of his government being slammed. Of course, whatever happened, it will happen in the darkness, but it will not come to light. But we all know the history of Prince Johnson. So it's like a man wants to divorce a woman, or the woman wants to leave a man, and then you're just waiting for a little thing to happen. And it happens, hey, CDC say, you know what? And I guess so, because it all started when, what his name, lawmaker Akara's Gray, Major Koji, they started being the attack dog on to Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson, a guy who can hold back, came out now to say they are after his life. Then, of course, if I come out here going to public, Joe wants to do this, there will be a way. Whether appropriately or inappropriately, it doesn't matter where. I'm not a favor of he going to the pulpit, but again, politicians always find a comfort zone where they think their message will go and will be uninterrupted. Do you see any president that want to ask him who you're talking to? But he spoke in a specific tone, which also suggests between you and myself looking through the line that he was indeed talking to Prince Johnson. But he did it in a clever, in a way that he did not call a name, and we can align it with the argument of Prince Johnson, who said that they were going to do it after him. So that's how, I mean, unfortunately, that's it. But how can we even get these people here? We're talking about to avoid this. Now, all of these people, they are contesting, and we yet to know some of these people. With the issue of Prince Johnson and Nima on, that I can say, Prince Johnson has managed to solidify his political grip. He has made a sufficient argument and is being convincing to the Nimayans. So I don't know. I'm waiting to see the challenger that's going to be put against, like Roosevelt Dan was making here to be put against. I think for him, most likely his job is secure for the senatorial. But what becomes, even if he's elected with this here, and the president have to be re-elected for whatever reason it might be, or they're still in majority, then he's going to be a toothless senator.
Yeah, he's going to be a toothless senator. But here's the thing, Mr. So. You know, the kind of argument you put him forward, he been there, why he and I said this. It's just simple. Prince Johnson helped George Weah to be elected. And he could not be the one to start bashing George Weah on the issue.
Why would he not start when he knows that George Weah was not doing the same thing? Then that's not fair to the Liberian people.
Mr. So, you cannot, your party, you can't bring your party to power and really start getting them. You have to have discussion. George Weah and Prince Johnson, they all came, they signed a memorandum. They wanted they submitted all these documents. Prince Johnson, you didn't see, and Prince Johnson used to call George Weah his son. Even just when George Weah was in the States, Prince Johnson had a press conference that he wanted to speak, but George Weah told him that, according to him, the public should not talk. Let me come with me.
That is voice.
What
happens to that meeting?
Things did not go well. This is why you see that there's the result of the meeting, because things did not go well. So the issue here for George Weah now, to make that argument, he can see the situation will buy it. But let us be honest here. Where was George Weah that he don't know that Prince Johnson was a killer? That's not
an argument. It's almost arguing people that have been doing wrong when you go talking and say, oh, it happened the next. No, I'm talking to you.
But you know the main character. You want to bear with him. All the time being the bear.
That's politics. We will always see this here. Even when whoever comes in the absence of CD, you will always see these things.
No, but Mr. So what I'm trying to say is,
why do you think Benana Ure is one of the most wanted? Why is other major people are aligned with him? Because
you cannot. Mr. So here's the point. You cannot. George Weah is the person to make that argument.
Who should make the argument?
We know the main character. You went in there with him. Then you want to tell another that now you see that he's bad guy. How can you make that argument, Mr. So?
Well, if I may just come in for a second, Mr. So, you asked a very important question. Why is Mr. Prince Johnson coming up right now to say these things when he knew that these things were happening, but he didn't say anything? Let us step back a little. I think we heard in the past, Prince Johnson stated that whenever he tried to talk to the president about issues that's going on, that are wrong, he would get threatened of being arrested and turned over for prosecution and things like that. You know, he avoids those things. Every time he feel that he been threatened, with war crime code and what have you, whenever he tried to talk to members of the ruling party, especially those that are in power, at the top. So we know these things, So, and then on top of that, if President Weah is seeing that, he afraid of people who have been sanctioned with by the United States to have any dealing with them. Well, today, Mr. How you call him, Bill Trary still have PSU officer protecting him. Latino Market does.
Yeah.
So what is the difference? Who paying the officers? It is the Liberian government, right? So the thing is, you can't have it both ways. It's like you having 1 foot in the water and then you got one on the land. Like we the Pele people, there's a tree, we call it Miawu Jamu. We say God no God Nyashu to no God Jinga. Which means the tree it has some the root in the water and then some on the dry land. So that's the kind of game that Mr. Weir is trying to play. But it's not working. It's not working.
Welcome to Roosevelt Dance. We're going to make it balanced. But yeah, is the thing here. Look, politics is all about risk, and you got to be calculative in taking those sort of risks. I understand wherever we all coming from with this argument, but also bear in mind this guy is seeking re-election. The relationship becomes fragile with he and Prince Johnson. It's been a long while. It's not a reason that just the outburst just took place. Or Prince Johnson, what he did was, he's a smart guy. What he decided to do to remove himself from the center of gravity of the politics and decided to bring in Jeremiah Kong. Politicians always need accommodation to protection. He knows whatever it is, at some point in time, this whole war crime. If you want to be friendly with Prince Johnson, don't talk about war crime. And this is where he and Yeke always force apart. But recently, he began to speak something. Yeke, you can talk something good, but you need to stop cursing. That's another way of appealing. He's finding another alternative now, knowing very well the role with CDC now is becoming dowsy. That's why he put Kun there. And I'm quite sure he's going to be the push of that, even though Kun is there. But for Kun to be accommodated by any of the coalition, there will be a deal cut in terms of protecting his guy. Every politician needs protection. Let's bring in this guy with a red beret, the seditions. My man, Roosevelt Ambassador Dan, are you still celebrating?
I'm still celebrating. We're still on it. It just started.
Okay, good evening. Welcome. Let's make it balanced here. I guess you've been following the program here. Look, yesterday, I didn't see this coming today, but we were hinted that at some point in time, the president was going to respond. I don't know whether that this respond or there much more to come. You heard the president today. I will try to decode the president word. I don't care, people. I never done. Maybe the people that you care. Who was the president talking to, you know?
You want to hear from me, right?
Oh, yeah. Who knows?
You don't know who the president was talking to?
I don't know. Let's hear the story. Who you think?
Who have been a president friend in Nimakande? Who have been a president friend?
You are the president friend from Nima, so there are tons of people there.
Okay, I'm one of those, but I didn't kill two. So we'll talk about that. We're talking about the big hand. Well, thank you so much. I was driving, coming, and when I heard Jaji talking, like I wanted to just grab the phone and get here so that I can respond. But I said, let me wait until I will take my own time to get home before I come in. So thank you so much. Yesterday, I was touching on some of those things that are going on right now in Nimakande or in Liberia. You don't know, but gradually we get to know what is going on. The last time when we had a program to petition the president in Lpr-Tv, when Senator Johnson went on the air, he told Nimakande citizens that they should not go there. They should not show up. The president didn't go.
That what he said?
Yeah, he said it. He said it. He called on the radio station in Nimakande and told the citizens of Nimakande that they should not go there in Lpr-Tv. But guess what happened? Lpr-Tv was packed to capacity and there was no space in the street. We could not even bring all the people that want to bring them because we never had the transportation to bring everybody. So Prince Johnny saw that as a challenge to him. And it was Jefferson Koji who went. He saw the program. I think he watched the program.
Yeah, so he
saw it as a threat to him. And one guy was there. The people featured him. And then Jefferson Koji started talking to him. So he even told the guy that the guy want to take a job from him. So right now, let me tell you what is going on. Senator Johnson, all the talking that he's doing right now is not Senator Johnson that we know in Nimakande, because we are all resolved to go after him to make sure to unseat him. Even when you go to Nima County, give a chance, and you call me here to help you so you can understand some of the things that are going on behind the scene. We are sedition. The only party that benefited from this government is the NDR. Even the typical sedition that people used to abuse them for wearing CDC clothes, they never got job. Up to now, they are not getting job. Those people that were appointed into government from Nima County, they were all NDR, majority NDR, the few people from all the different political parties. But now with CDC, except for the superintendent position that was given to the CDC former chairman for CDC in Nima County. So it made the sedition in Nima County angry. We supported Senator Johnson. Sedition, everybody we joined, we supported him. Even for Senator Kum to become senator, we, sedition in Nima County with NDR, we ran a campaign. We the one made him senator. So now if we are not together, who will run Senator Johnson campaign?
Why are you guys not together?
And listen, and when you get into the NDR, you listen to the president today, right? When he said, those of you that came in a coalition that you want to leave, if you are leaving, leave with everybody that you came with. Nobody should leave here. Because we want to create space for the new people that are coming in so we can get them a job. So tell me, for God in heaven, say, who want to raise their job? The senator is a certain senator. He's still working, his pay is coming. You, the assistant minister or deputy director or deputy minister, you want to leave your job for Senator Johnson for what he's saying on the air? That what you want to do? Who's going to feed your children? So none of them are willing to do. Those people that came from NTR, I'm coming though. Those people that he brought them into the government, that he recommended them to President, we have to get them job from NDR. They are not willing to follow him. They are not with him. They're going head to head with him. So tell me, all I know is making, who's going to run a campaign? The leadership in the country, he and the leadership, they have nothing, no good rapport right now.
Your caller, hold on one second. I'll come to you. Just hold on.
And there are 3 representatives right now who are members of the CDC. District 2, District 3, and District 9. And I'm going to be joining them to make them 4 because we all going there. District 8 with 4 for CDC through me.
You going on CDC ticket?
Yeah, I'm going on CDC ticket.
Is it confirmed now or there will be a primary?
Hey man, nobody there. Even primary, nobody can stand in my way.
But let me ask you, Roosevelt.
We're talking about people who get a face that can challenge the issues that come in the country.
Pick up this caller. Hold on one second. Let me pick up this caller here on the line here to make his or her point, and then we'll come back to the live view. Caller, are you there? Good evening.
Yeah, Mr. So, how you doing?
Good. What's your name and where you calling from, buddy?
Mr. So, my name is Willie. I'm calling you from Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia. You were Amos Joyce, the player that I can ask for.
Yeah, I know Ome George is here, but we haven't seen each other yet.
Oh, okay. I thought you one of those asking for vote to get to the finishing line. I just kidding. Go ahead, my man.
Well, Mr. So, thank you so much. You know, my concern has to do with, Frank Johnson concern he are raised with the coalition. People need to understand the contents and the intention. I'm hearing, Ambassador Dan on the show. Ambassador Dan needs a job through CDC. But the issue Frank Johnson raised with the coalition is that the agreement they reached originally, Nimba County did not benefit. Ellis-Tyler raised the same issue. NPP raised the same issue. So, when I'm hearing Dan on the show, it's talking something different about whether Frank Johnson will not be elected. That's not the issue. Frank Johnson is a Nimba citizen and a senator sitting now. He's not talking about his re-election. He's pleading on behalf of the citizens of Nimba County. So
no, I differ with you.
Frank Johnson is making sense. Yeah, Frank Johnson is making sense on behalf of the citizens of Nimba County because originally, when he took NDR, his party, to the coalition, there was an agreement that coalition needed to do something for the people of Nimba County. Now, let me give you one example. Look at the metal steel, money that you have been given to Nimba County. Let Mr. Ban tell me if Prince Johnson is advocating. Is he advocating for himself or for the people of Nimba County? So you have to understand the contents of Prince Johnson's argument. It's not arguing because he wanted to leave CDC. No, he's arguing because an agreement was not reached. That is Prince Johnson's issue. So he shouldn't make issue about going inside Nimba County to run as representative and Prince Johnson run. That's not the issue. Prince Johnson is for national concern that's supposed to benefit the people of Nimba County. I think he needs to join Prince Johnson.
Okay. So my brother, hold on 1 second. We all have your responsibility. I'll be coming back to the line here. Interestingly, we were not in the war rooms or behind the black curtains when they were seeing all these political arrangements. And that's the risky part of it, because sometimes it becomes a gentleman arrangement and just with the hope of trust. It's almost like the CPP, they were joining, you trust me, I trust you, and at the end of the day, I backstab you or whatever it. Now, so from this 1 year, you see it as Prince Johnson is a guy who is standing for principle. Do you think Ellis Tyler, I heard him saying those things, but I don't just trust the politicians, they are just politicians. Do you think the route of Prince Johnson now, would that be the same route of the Ellis Tyler or NPP? There's a factions of the NPP. What becomes of that as well now?
Well, Mr. So, thank you so much. I don't want to delve into the issue of Ellis Tyler and NPP. My interest has to do with Prince Johnson, advocacy for the people of Nimba County, having used his party. And, from the beginning, nobody had thought that Prince Johnson would have won, as senator in Liberia, looking at his track record. Now, the people of Nimba County unanimously elected Prince Johnson. He used one, patriotic, statement. When he overtold the Nimba County citizen, look, you see the Mawad that's sitting right here? It's this thing that redeems you. If you sit down here, and all of them will rally around, Prince Johnson, including even Dan himself, who's sitting now over there today. He did not speak the way he's speaking today. Everybody was united behind Prince Johnson. And I want he to understand the issue is not about CDC, or petition President Weah for the second bid, but Prince Johnson issue will benefit him down that's sitting in the studio today because he's a citizen in my house.
Okay, we'll wait and see what happens. Let's wait and see what happens. Okay, Emma Joy, thank you so much.
Mr. So, let me respond to that caller. Don't just let him go like that, please.
Well, no, but he's listening. You're not going to be on the line. You can talk. I mean,
okay, yes, okay.
Let me just bring in Amos, and then you wouldn't too much about it, responding to people. Respond now. We won't be like
no, but I was even talking. I didn't finish. I don't know whether you just.
No, you would trust me. You're going to have a fair share. I mean, he just end. Remember, you're talking, and I asked, you want to end your point, and I bring in Mr. George.
Exactly. So let me because we stay here. Let me end what I was just saying.
Okay, go ahead. So
the issue of Senator Johnson, when people talk about the clever way he been using is Samuel Kanyado were killing people in Nimakande, and Ali won't him and kill him. And when he said that, people going to follow him. But now where we are reaching now is how long will we continue to say this? How long will we continue to say this? You did this. Okay, you came, we are giving you 18 years in power. When you now get changed to the country, there are a lot of people who kill people in Nema country. If it is something that we have to reward people who kill, can you just back on now so we can reward the rest of the people who dedicating instead of you continue to talk about? And the job that you people are saying that you advocating for people in Nema country, he's not advocating for anybody in Nema country. What all Senator Johnson have been doing is all for himself. The university that he built it on the vote, the popular vote of people in Nema country. He sell them to politicians when they gave him the money. That's how he built that place. Go in St. Nicholas now, the community college that we have, that was just turned into the BSc university. Now teachers are not going to school because they are advocating for the increment in their salary. Senator Johnson has never advocated for that school. So now you want that school to close, so the teachers and the students all will transfer to his school. So when you're doing some of the things that are in the county, cleverly, just for your self-interest, people can be fellow with you. The job that you say you're advocating for, once George we are giving a job, he will turn around and sell the job to Nima County citizen. If you don't get in 3,000, over 3,500, he will not give you that job. And even if he gave you that job, every time you take your pay, you and him going to be divided. All of them they know about it. That's the complaint. They all know about it.
So let me ask you.
So if we continue to see somebody playing game on us, marketing up, and playing game, that's why we say we are fellow, we tired. Senator Johnson will not get his 10. He's not going to get it. Trust me. He's not going to get it.
I go to Amos George and Mr. Contour here. It might sound ridiculous, but if you have the answer, fine. If it's above your level, that's fine. Are you aware, as a son of Nima, with this sort of coalition yet? Prince Johnson, we have not come out, but perhaps it was a gentleman's arrangement. Are you aware? Because I was told appointments based on his support that he learned to the president in 2017, support within Nima County, certain ministers, ministerial position, deputy assisting or director, but within Nima County, 60% appointees will come from him. Is that true?
I don't know. I'm not sure whether it was supposed to be 60%. I don't think so.
Do you know of any arrangement with Dent and who probably below
I don't know any arrangement that he made with the president or with the government or with CDC party. I don't know anything about that. But it will not be possible to give one county 60% of position.
I mean appointment within the county. That he would make recommendation to the president and the president. Because the reason I'm asking this here, the guy who was appointed as a deputy assistant superintendent for development, know him very well, friends, and I followed that story. I listened to a lot of stuff, and Prince Johnson said, and today he never got that job because he claimed that he's not an Imaya, he's not his partisan, so he was not going to do that, give that job because he told him he told him that because he's supposed to get 60%, and part of that would be top position within the county. I'm not talking about in national government. I was just a little bit curious. Yeah, Amos George, go ahead.
So, no, let me answer your question. The job that you're talking about, Senator Johnson made it clear to the people of Nima County that if anybody in this country needs job, in this job we are government, you need to be a member of NDR.
That's what he said?
I'm telling you, he said it.
Is it on a public record?
On the public record. If anybody from Nima tell you that what I'm saying is false, then I don't think I had to be on your platform anymore. He said it. And the post said, no, we all cannot be a member of one party. So all the appointments that he has been making recommendation, they are always come from a party. So a party is not Nima County, like just party. So when you go in a position, the only 2 senators and 1 representative for NDR. The rest of the people from different political parties. So why he clean our NDR own Nima County? Because he using the old past story. I killed do. We had to be behind me anytime when the people ready so we can go out there again. But we are tired. Nobody bringing war to Nima County people. Nobody is bringing war. So we're not going to live on past glory continually.
Roosevelt.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to Emma Joy.
Yeah, Roosevelt, I'm shocked. I'm not surprised at you tonight.
For real?
Hearing all the visual from you. You on this platform and Professor Zawolo never spoke like that, but Prince John, you said that you don't believe that people should be prosecuted. Say you believe in restorative justice on the same platform. And tonight, you hear verifying Prince Johnson. This is what you people do as politicians. And the record will always keep the record to check you people. All the things you're saying, you are on the platform with Professor Zawolo. You never utter anything against Prince Johnson. You are one of those who say you don't believe people going to the war crime code. You prefer restorative justice. You, Roosevelt Johnson, on the floor here. When I was saying that people who committed heinous crime against Liberians should go to the war crime code, you were advocating against that right here. Tonight, you are just saying all these things about Prince Johnson. If this was true, why? All the time you never spoke about it.
Okay, I will still answer your question. I answered this question yesterday. Thank you so much, Pajo.
Hold on 1 second. Let me bring you answer it. Trust me, you're going to answer it. Let me bring in Conto here. We said that. I think we talked about it yesterday, and I will give you the opportunity. Let it come from the house's mouth.
You were speaking and did not interfere with us.
Joe.
So listen. So you say all these things here. Prince Johnson, you put in bed with Prince Johnson, your party. You never utter one word to say Prince Johnson was selling votes, was selling jobs. You never. But because he had left your party, it's not now you coming now just like your president to vilify here, to ridicule him here. And I'm saying that's not being honest. Because you were on record defending that you don't believe in war crime code. People should not go through it. But today, because Prince Johnson is not in your corner, you see now he doing all these things. And one thing you said yesterday, I was following the show in and out. I was doing something, so I could not come on. But I want to ask you this question. Is there any record that you can show us that Prince Johnson get 20,000 people in bomb mines? Is there any record? Is that in the TRC report?
No, I didn't say 20,000 in Burma.
What did you say? You on table?
I said he alone, doing a war, he killed over 20,000 people in Nimba County.
That's what I'm asking you. Is that in the TRC report? There's no statistic of that I have read. If it there, show me it. So
I think our witness is better than even TRC, because TRC people were just imagining. They didn't witness anything.
Roosevelt, hold on.
So, Control, hold on 1 second. Joe, your mic is muted. We're not hearing you. You got to unmute your mic.
Yeah, Pajo, excuse me for a second. Let me just address something here quickly. My name is Joseph Conto. I'm Peleba tribe. And I'm also from the family of the Gula warrior that defeated the Pele people back in the days. It was my great-grandmother who was given as the token to the Gula warrior to end the war between the Pele people and the Gula warrior. And our town where my great-grandmother came from is called Flukalai. That's a Pele named Flukalai, right by the Simpo River in Lower Bon County. I know that whole area, the area that Prince Johnson passed through before getting to bomb mines. I know all that area. Even my cousin, my blood cousin, his name is Arthur David. He fought for Prince Johnson. He was captured by Prince Johnson in Flukalai in our time when Prince Johnson went from Sanai Way and entered to Klebe. He entered Flukalai. He grabbed them for them to take ammunition, to pull ammunition, so that he can go towards bomb mine. He went through the town they call Kangalan Town, Manklina, all the way to Popo Town. The town they call Popo Town, when Prince Johnson entered there, MPFL, so MPFL soldiers were there. And then the guy in the firefight there, some civilian and whatever pregnant women got killed there. If you go to Popo Town today, the bullet mark are all on the wall. My cousin was there when it happened. Prince Johnson killed a lot of people. But the thing there is, when Prince Johnson was going into bomb mines, there was a bigger ambush that was set for him on the way after they heard that he was in Popo Town. But then he bypassed them to a town they call Wooden Town to get ahead of them. So those are on the ambush, they were caught in between. So those people got killed when he entered bomb mines. But this thing about Prince Johnson killing people, I must say I saw Prince Johnson kill people somebody in front of me. Why? Because the person was wearing this slipper they call Tipota slipper. And he thought that the person was an MPFL soldier, but actually the person was not an MPFL soldier. And that was in July of 1990, where in Benta City, right in front of Lucia Torber, Wooden Arrow Torber's sister, they call Lucia Torber house, right in front of her house. Right when you pass Lucia Torber's house by the clinic on the left, Dr. Wilson McLean's house is there. It's a round house, it's an austere house with a huge big fence around it. There where Prince Johnson was using as his base. Where did he capture me the first time? He captured me the morning of July the 7th, 1990, when he entered Benta City. The fighting was heavy that night. And then I couldn't leave. My grandmother was blind. And I was going to see her when the fighting broke out, so I couldn't go. People ran away. I slept in the house. That morning when I was going, I saw the people in uniform. I thought they were EFS soldier. When I went there, they grabbed me. They asked me whether I seen MPFS soldier. I said no. And then they sent me to go to Toba Church, the Baptist church. The moment I stepped to the church, fighting open. They grabbed me from there. They almost killed me. And they said I lied to them. And then one of them told me, say, he stepped me. I fell in the water. One was in the dirty water. One was telling me to wake up. If I don't wake up, he will kill me. Whereas the other one was telling me if I get up, he will kill me. It was one fighter from Prince Joseph called 245. She was a lady, short, a minor girl. She was the one that saved my life, God first. She was one of the commanders on the front. She threatened that if they kill me, he was going to kill them. So so the thing here is, they think about Prince Johnson killing people and he using it, to live off of it. The biggest thing that anyone can do, I'm not from Nima County, but I follow Nima County people closely. I went to school with many of them, and what I feel, even the late Robert G. Say, General Robert G. Say, his children, his girl, he had all girls' children. His children must have went to school.
Can we?
So the issue.
Can we get to the issue today?
The issue here, I laid this basic for the fact that if somebody accusing Prince Johnson to be a killer, it's not a secret. It's not really a secret. It's an open secret, so I have to speak, because I myself can testify to that. But if somebody just want to point finger at Prince Johnson alone and forget about other people who committed the same crimes as he did, I don't think it's the right thing to do. So what the George Weah government need to do, Mr. Weah, as he stood in his church today, talking about he didn't kill people and other people kill people, why doesn't he bring the war crime court? Why doesn't he? And to my brother, Honorable Dan or Brother Dan, is it true that Mother Steele gave $5 million to the people of Nima County? If so, have the government of Liberia or the George Weah-led government given that money to the people of Nima?
The money that Senator Johnson is talking about, I don't think it reached to that amount that he's talking about. $7.5 million, that's a lot of money. Why will government pay all of this kind of money on them and you can't talk about it only election time? That's the trick he playing. He want to poison the people of Nima County so they can go at this government. That's all he's doing. He's not doing it because he want to support Nima County, or he looking at Nima County that their interests lie. He want to fight for their interests. Nothing Senator Johnson has done in Nima County for the 18 years that he has taken. When he asked him, he say he's not represented to go help people in their community. Absolutely nothing. He never gave anybody one bonus thing to say, take the one, your community, or Palava Hoye. He never. We can see most of them or senator in their country doing that. The only achievement is because he killed Doe. But now we are telling the people that we tired with this story. This story is old now. We need to put it down. You killed the 18-year, we are rewarding you for that. Can you just leave it now? That's where we're going. And one of the things that I want to tell you today, those of you who from the opposition, probably you want to embrace Senator Johnson to come. What I want to tell you is this. The step that President George Weah took today to inform him that if you are leaving our coalition, you can go. But I will not give you 5 cents. If all the politicians who want to become president in Liberia, if they do that to Senator Johnson, amen, Liberia will be in peace. The whole thing will finish. But if you embrace him right now, the same way he harassing President George Weah, he's going to harass you. He's going to harass you. And more especially those of you who even thinking that Jeremiah Kun, Senator Johnson can stand behind Jeremiah Kun and bring him to you to choose him as your vice president. Hey man, don't make that mistake. You will be in a serious problem. That will be President Senator Johnson presidency in Liberia. I'm not going to lie to you. I will tell you freely so you will understand. If any opposition made that mistake and see somebody from Nima beyond Prince Johnson and choose him more especially from a party and say you are our vice president, I'm sorry for you.
I want to know what it was.
I'm sorry for you.
So I talked to Senator Cohn. He's willing to come. We have not seen that day, so I'm not going to be judgmental or convict. I will wait and give him the opportunity to know exactly how this political maneuver comes in and what would be the level. But I'm going to leave it as it is until he can come. But let's flip the coin here. We have not much time again here. So Prince Johnson, from all indications, what is happening now with his people that he aligned with from 2017 and now is breaking out here, is there any risk here, Joseph Contot, Amos George, because there is a vulnerability part of Prince Johnson with his sanction with Uncle Sam that hangs away, which is also a cloud, because my guess here, I think that's one of the key things here. So it's like, you know what? Yeah, like you want to wash your hand out of something and then it just all of a sudden it giving its own outburst. You want to go ahead. How should the opposition, and I know Nima is a consequential terrain when it comes to getting the votes to put you on top of this whole race here. How should the opposition look at this here? Prince Johnson, was it? I think it was Prince Johnson who told it was on Spoon how Ellis Kume gave his foundation money, right?
Yeah.
His conversation and people, it doesn't stay in the darkness. It's just on a temporary basis. We see why it's happening now. What should the opposition should be looking up if they are to engage? And I know people, they need vote. People will say they need vote, but why should they be engaging? I am concerned how did Jeremiah or what his name say? Jeremiah, what's it like?
Becoming the Gravel man from Sando. Gravel man. He's a Gravel man too.
Look,
so,
hold
on there.
No,
go ahead, Mr. George.
No, we're not going to go into that one. The other one, that one, it came from them themselves. It came from that was a long time story. He couldn't himself measure it anyway, so that's not anything. Now here's his man from on our side, which is okay. But I'm just saying here now, we are focusing on the future of the country. We don't want to come back here and start having this sort of conversation here. Why should the opposition be watchful? Why should they be careful with right now?
Look, Mr. So let me say this. People talk to Prince Johnson, people talk to Jeremiah Coon. Or what Mr. Dan is paying on you is his perception. That's his view. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. But today to come here and make Prince Johnson irrelevant in Nima today. Well, a lot of the people in Nima, you are citizens from Nima, but you don't determine the entire Nima who to vote for. Maybe you will win in your district. But to come and make that Prince Johnson he got no more ground in Nima County. That is for me, I'm waiting to see.
Judge, the election that was in Gantor, Prince Johnson left for somebody here, you were defeated. I'm telling you, Prince Johnson is losing relevant. I'm telling you.
So you're preaching your party line. I'm not preaching party line. I'm speaking as an independent person. I'm not.
Can you tell me how the person was defeated in Gantor? The person that was on a political
Let's
party.
not make it a dialogue. I don't know what.
Yeah.
You support a party. How can you say you'll be your independent man? That's
what I'm saying is I'm not speaking.
You're not too confident about a party, so let him sit.
Roosevelt, hold on. I am not like you who came on the show and denied CDC say you are going to run as an independent. You, Roosevelt, you are on record for that on this platform. And this is why I said I got problem with some of you people. Okay? I had never denied ANC. But you came on this platform, you are on record, saying that you will run as an independent. And I asked you, Professor Zago, yeah, you and Professor Zago say you're going to run as independent. He said you're going to run in Nigeria as independent. And you say you're going to run as independent in Nima. I had never said that. So you people have a problem because you people are not forthcoming. Don't know what you people want today, you test tomorrow, you did, and this is why you're seeing it. I'm continuing to say, look, because when I was advocating and continue to advocate for war and economic crime, you were against it. You were against it. No, you don't believe in it. Today, you're going after Prince Johnson, and that's a double standard. This is the issue. Today, you're talking all these things. Where you on that platform, you never said it. You are one of those who supported him. Now, every time you come, you raise him, oh, he killed though. Oh, man, we know the story. Don't continue to tell us that we don't know what happened. You knew it. You've been knowing it. But you're in bed with him politically. Because things are sour now, so you're trying to put your laundry in the street. When Dr. We knew that Prince Johnson was under sanction, he got two cabinet ministers with his Solicitor General. They are still using government property, that government security. Mange was on the show. He said Mange to negotiate with Prince Johnson just recently. It's because when things doesn't work out, then that one will come to spill all these things in the public. And some of us, history is there. And that's why these platforms are very good. Because when we say this thing, it goes on record. It's kept in the archive. We'll come back. When we say something, someone say, no, you said it this time. And let me just close on a note. Politicians, like or not, people will still talk to Prince Johnson. People talk to Jeremiah Coon. Whether he grow man, he minor man, he give man, he's from Nima. If the people want to, they saw him as grown man, they lie election to vote at him. So that for me, you're going down your travel line, that's fine for you people. Because you're going down your travel line. So that's fine for me. But I just want to say here, when we see things, I don't want me to be the subject. When you make a statement here, there should be facts. Because that's what this platform is built on. When you continue to insinuate that he cared about 20,000 people in Nima, the TRC report that documented all the stories, it's not there. So you got no facts to back that. You're not speaking from your perspective, what you think of, but there's no record for that. We all know Prince Johnson was a rebel leader. And I also say war doesn't fight in vacuum. War is human being. He allegedly killed people. We know that. But I can't come here to say Prince Johnson killed 150,000.
Okay.
No record on that. No statistic. It just has sometimes people say Prince Johnson, I know 150 children in the world. And my point has always been, Nimakana is free today. Let one person carry me there to show me this where this man dumped children in. So we can build a memorial there to remember the innocent children that were elected by Prince Johnson. Nobody cannot show that well, but they all make this statement.
But these are the political tone bitterness here. Both sides, the government, the opposition, those of you who support these people. Hold on 1 second. You give all sort of justification. The Samuel Doe killed people, the dumb people. Up to this time here, nobody can come specific. And Prince Johnson, has been very successful to spill out this garbage out there, and it happens to resonate with people. But again, that it is why it is.
And Johnson, I never call him up. Never call him up.
Who's that?
Yeah, but
I never call Prince Johnson up to say, hey, you did this. You did it, so you have to feed the weight. No, it's not because
there was a truth. But fair to say, he was here last year, and in fact, there was a caller that called in, and we squeezed in, and he was able to speak up. But let me just,
Brother Abrams, I continue to tell you, support is not permanent. You can't just support somebody to be permanent something. I can support you today, and then tomorrow I withdraw my support. I was supporting Senator Johnson. What I have been doing, I was advocating for peace and reconciliation in Liberia. I continue to tell you. I wanted people who did these things to come to admit and feel that I'm sorry. What happened? My people, I'm sorry. You forgive me. But none of them have been able to do that. You can't be talking on behalf of somebody where the person is justifying. Then you continue to talk for that person. If Senator Johnson was not continually justifying he killed him, then of course I will continue to be there and say, let us bring peace, let us do this thing and peace point and all of that. But you continue to justify. When will he justify one killing? When? So at this time, we say, okay, we will back up wherever you guys stop, and then we'll come in with our peace reconciliation. The reconciliation will not happen if the perpetrator cannot be able to say, I'm sorry to the victim. Those things will never happen if you cannot say, I'm sorry. But if you continue to fight and say, I'm right to do this, I'm right to do that, continually, then who will be talking on your behalf when you continue to say you're right? That's where we are going now.
Okay, guys, hold on. Joe, let me bring you in here a little bit. This is a kind of bitter political bitterness. Diane has a side. Amos George has his on the side. The liberal progressive, all of these guys here. Hold on, you're talking and nobody talk. Hold on. They have other side. They brought what?
My brother Naya, don't call his name.
Who cares? Who's stopping from being here? The brother, he's not here. He wants that he can come. They brought their own little alligator. At the end of the day, the alligator got out there. We don't know what happened now. It's been put back in the zoo. But on a serious note here, the dishonest state with politicians, not just only politicians, they are surrogate. They justify everything to the core ballot of the actions of the people that they support. And they think that it's just going to go like that. Both sides, a surrogate, supporter, radio host, parkia host, commentators, advocates. It happens the last time, so we shouldn't talk about it again. Why we didn't talk 10 years ago when it happens? No, society is evolving. If it happened that time, we never had the capacity to have enough conversation. That's part of the problem. We never had enough conversation to ask all of these people who, or the president now, who didn't go to a debate, but we all were complacent. It is the same thing now. The very people who are contesting today, they are very selective where to go because they want to have their way through. They do not want to be asked a question. You have advocates nowadays. In order to be a good advocate, you should go to jail. And when you go to jail, you come up 1 or 2 times, it means you are eligible. You can be a senator, you can be a representative, you can be a president without us asking genuine questions based on their platforms, their vision, how they intend to govern, and what is their ability to make informed administrative decisions. And they just think the country is like some kind of banana farm that anybody can just go there. Also, this person there now, so you can go there. That's sort of a visual or rotational cycle that's what they want us to go. What are you looking for out of this candidate? Yeah, we are. We are not talking about the platforms of Ellis Cummings. We are not talking about the platform of Joseph Boyka. For the president, it becomes a little bit difficult because he's an incumbent. He will always say, oh, my work is not complete. I want to complete, even though we never had a chance to talk in depth of it. But how can they make the argument now that indeed that will sound reasonable, that will be convincing to ordinary Liberians or person like me, free thinker? Why should I trust you? You have this person was at this end yesterday. They are with you now. How can you reconcile their position? What administrative action will you take if he or she does something wrong that you think is against your idea? Do you think this person is actually aligning with your political ideology now, or are they seeking some sort of political or temporary accommodation because they want to get to some sort of position? That's the problem that we are having.
Well, Mr. So, like I said earlier today, that it's always good to do the right thing, even when no one is watching. And you should have a principle and a value to stand by. I may sound a little biased here because I am a member of the ANC. I am a supporter of Alexander Cummings. And I have been since 2015.
Okay, we just like to have people to disclose their identity so that way.
Yeah, I mean, so because I cannot, like I told you, I can't say I love the woman and I only know the woman in the net. I don't want to identify the woman during the daytime. The telephone. So the thing is, let me speak directly to my brother, Mr. Dan here. You know, Mr. Dan, you just made the case for Mr. Prince Johnson's re-election in Nimba County. And here's why. The people of Nimba, they are like the people of Grand Jire. They become sympathetic towards their own, especially when they are under attack. Regardless of what is going on, once you start to attack them, then you know what, they will come together to defend their own. And that's exactly what you have done to Mr. Prince Johnson tonight. You are helped to do for Mr. Prince Johnson, the president attacking, and you taking side with him. And I can tell you have difficulty winning your district because they will say if you are representing them and if the president coming against them, you going to defend the president against them.
My district is not even Senator Johnson district. You never won there.
Ask you.
No, Uncle. It's not Senator Johnson district, but Senator Johnson is a senator. So the entire Nimba County take part in the process of electing the senator. So the district don't have to be his district. So you don't
know Nimba County politics.
So on the issue of political parties and being how to proceed, as far as people that unsanctioned like Senator Johnson, because Senator Johnson, he pretty much like a king because so to speak. Nobody can govern. Nobody can govern without winning. You have to win first before you can govern. Right? Once you have won, then you set the policy, the governing policy for your administration. So right now, the focus of most of the politicians, including mine, is for us to win. If we can get anyone who will give us the vote for us to win so that we can set the policy, we will ask for the vote, we'll ask for the support to support us. But what we are going to be careful with is the idea that we should pay money to you before you can give our support. There where the problem will be. You see what I'm saying? There where the problem be. And then politics, as I always say, politics is interest. So if another political party or whatever, I would believe coming to another political party, let's say the ANC, I mean, there's nothing wrong with them signing the agreement and saying, look, I'm going to support, we are coming to in a coalition with y'all, a collaboration, and that in the government can be a coalition government, so as to speak. Once the agreement in there are adhered to, that's the best way forward. But honestly, absolutely nobody can win. Can govern without winning. It doesn't matter whether it's the opposition or even the ruling party. The ruling party cannot win without, getting support for people who are tainted in our country.
Well, the politics in Liberia is so muddy nowadays, and I think they're going to get ugly. I'm not sure to say.
Major Show. People that don't know Nima County politics, don't bring them and make them to talk over me when I try to come in and stop me.
No, everybody equal.
Senator Johnson has put in the district that I'm going to be contesting. He has put candidate there all the time. The candidate I never won. As long as Senator Johnson behind him, I'm telling you. I'm not worried about Senator Johnson in my district. I'm not worried at all. Let him go there and campaign. I will go there and campaign. I'm saying that free. Maybe you listen to me. I will go there and campaign.
I think you misunderstood. I think you misunderstood my comment.
No, listen now.
You are making the case for the re-election of Senator Johnson.
I'm part of the country. How can I make case against him? I'm saying the truth that we are resolved to tell him to relax. The 18 years we gave him, nobody attacking him. Nobody is attacking him. Don't make him understand that president is attacking him. Nobody is attacking Prince Senator Johnson. Nobody.
So wait a minute.
We the citizen of Nima County, we are saying we tired. The 18 years that we gave him is time now he leave the country because everything he been doing, we are not benefiting from him. Everything is just about him. The school he built is about him.
So let me.
It's not community college. That's the university that it's the private university. You go there, you pay money to him. It's not free.
Let me ask this here.
Nothing else he has done in the country that we can benefit from besides the money that he took from a politician to do that. And besides that, to tell you that Senator Johnson is going down. There's going to by election, he raised somebody's hand. In Ghana, the man was defeated.
Well, why
okay, hold on one second.
In all his political party, he only have one representative. And he owns Nima County. Why a party cannot produce all the lawmakers in Nima County? Why?
Well, the point is, I don't want you to put words in my mouth. I didn't say Senator Johnson.
Why all the lawmakers are not from the NDR? We are talking of party land. Why all the political parties are not? And we got 3 lawmakers who are sedition in Nima County.
Mr. Dan, hold on one second. We will be having this conversation going to be more extensive. We're not going to conclude all here. I've already talked to people, and I'm waiting to get some numbers from inside Nima and talk to ordinary Nimayans of how it's being played out and what is happening here. But let's settle this doors here before we go, guys. We're not picking phone call here again, unfortunately. Are they hear you saying, you said the president attacked Senator Johnson?
Who said it?
I try to make sure of the language.
Well, I said it today in the church, when the president was in his church, he threw out some talks out there. Even our brother Prince down right here, even corroborated what the president said. The president said if he's leaving, he should take all his people and leave with them. He shouldn't leave any of them behind. Mr. Dan right here just admitted to that. So it means the president was actually attacking Senator Johnson in church today. It was Senator Johnson that you are referring to.
What was the antecedent that led to the president's actions or the president's comments in the church? I feel, and that's what I was saying. Politicians always find a comfortable zone where they can get their argument. Do I ain't agreement as to where he made that statement? Absolutely not. But he is who he is, and he feels where he can be. But what I'm saying, what was the antecedent that led to the president saying that was it?
Okay, this is what happened. What actually happened did not just start today. You remember Representative Honorable Akara Moses Gray made a comment about Senator Johnson attacking the president and that they were going to engage him intellectually.
The word you said democratically. I don't know which one, whether on seating or you're going to be.
So when that happened, then the president sent Nathaniel Magee, Samuel 12, and other.
They were still trying to compromise, and that
to go to him. So when they went to Senator Johnson said he was being attacked by people like Jefferson Kochi, threatened by Jefferson Kochi, saying that they're protecting him, they were having him arrested and all the kind of thing. But yet and still, they got people under the darkness to go and beg him so that he can support the president re-election bid. You see, so
here is the deal. This is a perfect example of our politician lack of political tolerance. It's like you get your child and you know the child crying, you're supposed to give the little lollipop or whatever to give it to the child, right? But because of that, it's like a hook now behind that child. Every time the child wants to express, because when the child can, there's so many ways people expressing their emotions, attention, requests. I will not get you the candy. I will not get you the toffee, like Bro Man said. So Prince Johnson, there is something like a taboo that attached to Prince Johnson that when you call that name to, then he flips up because there is no political tolerance. He doesn't like to hear anything that has to do with war crime. I guess Akara did not call that, but there's a way that you can call or pronounce something that can trigger something within the president. And that's why he didn't even bring that. I mean, I can't say why he didn't because I don't know. Probably he brought it to, but then he came back and started firing. And he spoke to an international cable that somebody is, and he is a major actor. Whether we like it or not, he's a major political figure now that we have to deal with for the life of our own. That somebody wants to take his life, somebody wants to kill him and fight the government. So if the president comes out to say, I mean, let's be fair, when the president comes out to say that I mean want to kill you, maybe the people who want to kill you, you know, that's his way of responding.
The thing is,
I know it started from somewhere and it escalated to that level.
So the president got mad because Senator Johnson said the president said he met a broken economy and that Senator Johnson was instrumental in electing the president in 2017.
To be honest with you, I don't want to give the senator that this is the dishonesty part of our leaders.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying
he knew all of that. And he was having nice good time. He took the president to introduce him. Now he wants to say that. Does that make him? Can we exonerate him from collaborating and conniving with the against the Liberian people now to come back because their political ties break up?
That statement wouldn't exonerate him. But the fact of the matter is, I'm quoting what he said. That put the president on fire. There's no other way I can go around. That because he said it. You know,
when a man is pushed to the wall and he can't go against the wall, what happened? He bounces back. And so
but then, to be honest with you, Mr. So my attitude is that even seditions, whenever the opposition try to speak against the ruling party about the situation in the country. Guess what? They blame the previous government, you know, about looting the country, about corruption. They didn't fight corruption and what have you. But yet and still, when the ruling party took over, they never audited the previous government.
Okay.
You see? So that could have solved some of the problem. So the argument there, they're going back and forth, like they're going in a circle. You know, you blame me, you fire me, I come back, fire you. So that's what's going on.
Oh yeah, everybody, that's a politician. Everybody is a blame game. Nobody's sitting around the conference table to find a solution, to see what you're going to say is applicable, that I can grab one or two things. Once I'm in the opposition, everything about the government is bad. When you're in the government, everything about the opposition is bad. Nobody is willing to accommodate thoughts and visions, and that's how we're going to be there. But guys, what a great conversation here. Mr. Dan, I'm still waiting for that number, even though I talked to some folks in Nimba today, and I'm hoping to get that to have that conversation. But there's no way that we can dispute the fact that Prince Johnson, his seat, for now, we know he could have some political setback, but I'm pretty sure that he's going to be re-elected. I want to see that political surgery taking place where they're going to unseat Prince Johnson. Yeah,
and I look forward.
Grounded 18 years. He got a political foundation that he can boast of. You saw him talking on the table here. You're talking about his university. There are other people who barely tied to that institution. So they're going to do everything possibly they can, even if somebody else can win from a party, that I can show Prince Johnson. What's your last word, Roosevelt Dant? You are what? The incoming representative district, what, number 8?
Yeah, number 8.
When you be on the ground, you hear you running campaign, my man?
I just came from Liberia. In and out. I just came from Liberia. I'm in and out. I just came from Liberia. I'm doing my fundraising. So M Bwaga is here too. The presidential candidate. We all still over here looking for money, right?
My man, Gronk can spoil the team, man.
Why you guys? And then Bwaga and myself, we stay here. We came to raise money. Bwaga and myself, we are here. We came to raise money.
You just want to dilute the conversation.
Not diluting. You bringing me into the air. I had to tell you why I'm here. I'm raising money. Bwaga and myself, we here.
No.
Okay.
Open Bwaga here. Unity Party leader is here. We raising money. And you're talking about ambassador.
He didn't ask how many political leaders are aspiring you're raising money. He said, Roosevelt Johnson, why are you here?
I'm Roosevelt Dan. I'm not Johnson. I'm Roosevelt Dan.
I'm sorry, Roosevelt Dan. Why are you here?
But I need to let you know how many political party leaders are around here raising money, including Roosevelt Dan, who is aspiring for district number 8. So
for opposition to take power, but we get CDC. So you're staying tall. The inside Liberia in USA. Go ahead, Ambassador.
I think
we just got to debate the issue. For me, hey, what you say?
I'm just kidding. I mean, I love their commitment in terms of what they believe of their party. What I would like it, we disagree with it is, but we have to be persuasive in this argument. That's the only way. Go ahead.
Mr. So, the president mentioned today, respond today to Senator Johnson. I want to see that happening. He told them, not only he alone, he said, if you keep in this coalition and you are leaving, I want you also to leave with the people you brought. Nobody should leave here. So I want to see that part. All of them are in the government. We want to see them packing their load today, leaving. Because Ambassador, I don't want to go like brother, take some of the position before that time, even though I don't know how you're going to play, because I can't go appoint the position and then go wrong. Maybe I won't do it.
All the playing talk you did that time, they didn't give you none, They didn't call you.
No, because everything got time. I told you, we are the next breed of leadership coming in Nimba County. So I'm not going to rush. Nimba County coming in our hand. As soon as they be here is going to here, then we will be there. So this is the whole thing on the ground. The message today, I want to see them leaving. As their leaders are going, let them too be leaving the government to go. Let them be that position. Let's see what happens. We got a lot of political party in Liberia. We want to see another political party who we got chance to get in opposition so they can join our coalition too. If you leave it, man, you get a woman, you leaving a woman, you think you can't get another woman. If you two, a man, you leaving a woman, you think a woman can't love a different man. Let the people leave with their crew they brought. We will look for different people to close the gap up. We can't leave the gap open, you be making noise. While your people in your office say they're making money, then you on the air there, you're making noise. Let them pack their load and go. That will just be my closing. And we are waiting to see that. If it did not happen, recently, Senator Johnson made local appointment in Nimba County. They were all people from his NDR. So as he leaving, Get all of them removed out. All of them leave that seat. Because we will make a recommendation so that they can employ different people into that local government so that we can control them. It will not be that people they go there and get in hard time. That's the next thing I'm coming to recommend to the people.
Okay.
It's clear.
All right.
If your bossman is leaving, follow your bossman, you go. And let me leave you with this. Recently, we saw Jefferson Koji and Thomas Fala, they moved to Lofa County. And Lofa fell, right? Now, how many times? Oh, Lord, listen to me, Georgie. Hold on, Georgie. Please wait.
I'm not talking.
Okay.
I'm not like you.
Recently, you are seeing Jefferson coaching 2 times in Nima County. I don't want to give you our next move. You will soon hear Roosevelt down taking airway because we're looking for people to make Nima County 4-2 on CDC.
We
will take it.
Are you on a special mission?
We're not fighting. We're taking the county. CDC. We're taking all the county. We will take it. I'm telling you, I'm one of the representatives sitting. I'm not going to even say waiting. I'm already representing. I'm telling you, we're going to take it.
All right. When you become representative, don't make your car windshield.
The election are coming. If you don't hear that, maybe 5 representatives from CDC will be winning the election. Change money.
Okay.
Oh
yeah. Before we go, Control, Joe.
Yes, can I ask you on this thing? The polls on the ground right now.
No, we're not arguing. I'm asking you. You said the must change your name.
Jefferson Koji keep going down with the
so why must change your name too?
Joe, before we go now, into the second, the president, is he taking a political risk here? Life is all about risk. Who is more or less taking a political risk?
I think the president is taking a political risk. We know that the NPP, the LPDP, and the CDC had a coalition prior to the 2017 election. Even as that, they could not even win 40% of the vote. And Mr. Prince Johnson came in, and he helped the president to win. Even today, they can deny or they can deny it. That is the fact. The records are there. And if he negotiated with Mr. Prince Johnson to help him to win, I think he should go that route and stop making the kind of a comment that he's making. You can't throw the rock, then you hide your hand. Is somebody going to see the rock or your hand as you throw this rock? So I think the president is taking a political risk. And as a matter of fact, the president is not going to get re-elected. I will tell you that straight up. And I can tell you the president himself admitted to that. He alluded to it when he was making his comment about Mr. Arizona Cummings being missing chemical in himself. He knew how to make his chemical to make his own Coca-Cola or whatever. He made the comment. He said, people are saying that he's going to be a one-term president, but he's not going to be a one-term president because he's going to choose a president or president that Liberian people will love, and that president will take care of Liberian people. But by saying that, the president is telling Liberian people, he's telling them goodbye. And to my brother Dan, Elizabeth Dan, let me just tell you something. The Blue Day yesterday, that was a farewell party for Mr. George Weah, and I can tell you, by net 4 on October 10, 2023 this year, George Weah will be on his way out.
All right, your patron that you guys on the same political line. Who's going to be the next president of Liberia comes 2023 after October 10?
I can tell you, I can confidently tell you that Mr. Arizona B. Cummings is going to be the next president of the Republic of Liberia come January 2024.
You call with him, Mr. George?
Yeah.
Okay.
But let me say this. Mr. Don is one of those very divisive person in Nema County. And you are on record on this place. You remember when you went, you talk about the nurses, you said if you should fire every one of them and plus sedition in Nema County. So why do they hold?
Yeah, when they are leaving, when the hair is going, all of them have to go.
Hold on, Dan. You said that, but today now you're going back to charge Prince Johnson that wanted to hypocrisy. But you said the same thing when you're in Nema on this platform. So you see, this is why I tell you, this platform, will continue to hold you people. Because if you that's what you do in that district to hire social institution, you just seen it here again. So I would say that you're one of the very persons who are very divided in our country based on your own statement. You said it. I didn't say it on record. And that was our idea to check people, because what politicians say, we play it and ask no answer. And the people of Nima County, if you're saying Prince Johnson has used that country for his personal gain, and you've seen similar thing that, hey, if I'll get rid of all the people and plus institution, what is that message you're sending to the people?
No, don't say like that. It's not what I said.
Okay.
You just said it right now. You said it
No,
right.
listen, you can replay it. I'm saying,
Hold on.
let me make that part clear. Let me make that part clear.
No,
let me make that part clear.
Conversation here.
Hold on, Amos. Let me make that part clear for you.
Hold on. You're not going to get away. You said it right here. You said put your people there.
The way I saying it, you not understand. You want to flip it. Don't flip it. What I said is clear. I said the president is saying, if you are part of the coalition, you leaving, your people you recommended will get them job, leave with them. So when you're living with them, will they still be in the government working? Absolutely no. He carried a long list of local chief. They replaced them with the old people that were there. They get them job recently. Now he say he leaving the coalition, that the coalition still in power. Then those people they are the power. That's what the president said.
All right, guys.
I'm not the one that's going to take them off. But that's the mandate. If you leave with your people.
You made that comment about the clinic right here, that they should hire seditionists. You say if you're going to, they should fire everybody and post sedition there. And I'm saying to you that is
if you are part of the coalition when your bossman is going, you can't leave out up and follow your bossman. Your go.
Get away with it.
If Joe get defeated, all the sedition that have been in office, none of them will stay in office. Everybody will leave her.
No, we're talking about coalition. If you're part of the coalition, if you live in a marriage, you can divide property. You have to take your children, you go. Don't be in your the main house. Take your thing and bro.
You were not the coalition.
Ambassador Dan.
Yeah.
In the interest of fairness, I asked Amos Joy, he said the next president is Ellis Coleman. I asked Joseph Control, he said the next president is Ellis Coleman. Who will be the next president after October 10 or 15?
This is not even a question. The next president is President George Manuel. We have for a re-election. He will be re-elected. The problem we have now in Nima County, the people there, they are seeing development.
That we're done with Nima business. I just ask you as a fun of, because if
President George will be re-elected. At 7%, how they will be talking about men who get 7% all the time in our the man Roosevelt who vying for representative position, you can put up crowd more than the presidential candidate.
Well, it's a 7%. The same 7% mean that you people went and conspire with Bernard Ure, Joseph Boakai, Yomli Kaga Lawrence to lie on him and take him to court, and in fact remove the evidence that could have exonerated him in office. So that just proved to you that you're afraid of the 7%.
That being CDC problem. It's not our problem. No.
It is. Because you are the government. The government is responsible to investigate case and prosecute people. So if the Solicitor General, who is a sedition, went and removed evidence from the evidence that he presented to the court just to have the defendant convicted on a false pretense, then guess what? Because you are afraid of it is coming. That's why. That's the 7%.
I don't think it's right. I don't think it would be fair to us here. This is not our business. You bring yourself to oil in the court, we prosecute you. That one is fair. This is not our issue.
So, Joseph Control, Joe.
Yes, sir.
Are you guys still in this war of CDC responsible for the fallout of?
Yes. How can we be responsible for that?
Let me look, Dan, I can speak for myself. Let me answer the question. Mr. So,
should that be the case as now at this consequential time? CDC, ANC and Unity Party, is that what?
No, that's not the issue that I'm saying right now. That should not be the issue.
Why would you validate CDC argument to get you people distracted?
No, but the point that I'm not being distracted. I'm just setting the record straight, because this is why we cannot be passive this time. We have been passive all along. So when they're talking about 7%, that additional company is a 7% man, but here's a 7% man who is not important, but you're relying on him, removing evidence from documents so you can have it convicted. Your government did that. Your Solicitor General did that. Or sedition did that. So what you want me to say? It is your government.
I think we want to be having the platforms of these very people who are contesting them. So that would be more or less important for us to have this conversation. Ambassador Dan, thank you so much. Joe, thank you for.
I know probable cause. But we are not even closer to that. We were not a cause.
I don't want to rehash that thing. I don't want to rehash it.
Mr. So, thank you so much.
Thank you for watching on, Mr. So. Thank you.
All right. Oh my goodness.
Tell the Papa, I'm making fortune now.
Eh?
Tell them I'm making fortune now.
Well, folks, that's how we're going to bring the curtain down here. This event, we want to thank you so much. We want to thank you so much for your time right here on the Liberia Public Radio. That's what you see. The lack of political tolerance is on both sides. You can't call their leader's name and tell everybody like you get under their skin to take a defense line, put up ballistic political missile deflectors. We can't have a conversation like that for the good of the country. And we have to, but it's important that we have this sort of conversation. The surrogates, the supporter, they themselves have shared responsibility in their decision making, how they come to the conclusion to support these people they are supporting. No matter what, they will be in their defense. And it's politics. You don't want to go in there being weak or to side with your opponent. No, that's not going to happen. We know that for sure. But who is taking a political race here? And it's good to take a political race. The president now is giving it, telling them, you want to go with all your people. This is what we want to see, where the loyalty to the party or the institutions that are strongly believed that they support. Who is willing to surrender their positions? CDC or the president putting them in a sort of volatile, very, very critical junction. It's like a piece of cloth cut between the scissors. You're thinking about cutting it, but when you cut it, you need that piece, and you might not complete your dress or pants that you want to sew. But it's quite interesting. My guess is going to get more ugly and ugly, and we're going to see that. So it is president coming back now to show size, strength, or what is he trying to do? To demonize Senator Johnson to the extent that the oppositions will provide less accommodation for him? What is happening? And what is the opposition's strategy? The ANC, the Unity Party, for some reason, these two groups of people, they are not getting along. And there's no evidence that they will ever get along. Probably in the injury and Strapitan, something could possibly happen. But as far as we are concerned now, nothing of such most likely to occur. So who does the advantage? So who is gaining the political edge? When ANC as a main opposition, Unity Party as a main opposition, the frictions, the political frictions cannot go away. No way to cement those broken pieces. How would this happen? How can they effectively execute their case against this sitting government if this government is to be replaced? We hope to be having these consistent conversations and perhaps more or less now to look at the agenda of this political party, the Unity Party, the ANC, the LPP, and whoever contestant to unseat. It becomes a little bit difficult for the incumbents because they will always be in a defensive position. But is the opposition doing enough to get votes, to chip votes from them in terms of their conversations and the narrative of their argument to the electorates? We are waiting to see that. I want to thank you so much for your time this Sunday evening, and we We learned there's a Kennedy being planted in Nima County from the CDC side. We don't know how true it is, but we are still talking to their leader if it is the party or certain segments of the party members are supporting that. And what can they really do to Senator Prince Johnson? Can they unseat him? Prince Johnson has been in that position for what, 18 years? He's solid. He's standing tall. There's no questions about that. That he will be a force to reckon with as an individual to unseat him. Well, what are they doing? Are they trying to diminish his political strength? Is that a strategy? Prince Johnson is smart. He puts forward Jeremiah Cohn to become a jawbone exercise for both the government and the opposition. That will potentially compel one of these groups to tap into Jeremiah Cohn. And tapping into Jeremiah Cohn is also still having Prince Johnson or making Prince Johnson relevant to the political process. That was a calculated strategic move on the part of Prince Johnson to remove himself from the political space and put forward someone who is much younger or a younger generation. His son is already politically secure, 9-year job secure for the life of the loans, unless he decides to retire or whatever reason. He's seeking consultations, having conversations. And Nima County cannot be ignored when it comes to the politics of Liberia. Everybody needs to get a significant chunks of votes for Nima County in order to get into the finishing line. But the president now is taking the political risk here. Go with your people that you brought. So the question becomes, will those people surrender? We're going to see in the coming days or week how it's going to be played out. It would be quite interesting if the president is to go out there in Nima County to canvass against Prince Johnson's of the candidate being put forward, as we are hearing, by CDC or supporters of CDC, what it all means. But from all indication, from what we're seeing and what we know as of now, like in the words of the commentator, I think that the water is already toxic as well. That water, they already present, that water is being present. I'm not sure what a Prince Johnson. But it started way back. And let's just keep it in track.
Response, it could be the move.
Let's see here. This is where it started from.
They prioritize nothing. There's no Georgeville Foundation. There's no sports academy. There's no recreation center. There's no public library for public school students. There is absolutely nothing. Money is gone. You want to be president to set over our resources. The same way you mismanage yours, you will mismanage ours. That's what I think. We fear rigging. We fear rigging.
This is the dishonest part of politicians. He knew all of this here, that this guy was coming to reside or manage the resources, he's mismanaged his money, but yet you formed a coalition. Now, it didn't go the way you got, you also now crying foul. So all of you are the same.
There's a rig election, we fear national civil response by the people of this country.
Fear that she might use her power not to rig for maybe the Unity Party, but for her new favorite candidate now.
She's a politician, is a very tricky person. A politician is unpredictable. So she might, because her son is in CDC, she might, and then Senator Gbazonga Finley, that she has been.
He's historically informed of the happening, even within and outside of his party.
Supporting other loan and interacting with is also in CDC. McIntosh is in CDC. A lot of prominent people from executive mansion, they're in CDC. So she might be carrying out a diversionary tactics while at the same time be aiming at somebody no one is thinking of. Nobody knows. Because her second cousin is Bronsky. Bronsky's mother, Ellen's mother were first cousin. So Ellen and Bronsky are second cousin, okay? So her son is in CDC. All of these people with Ellen are in CDC. So people might say, oh, because her son is in CDC, she might rig in favor. No, she might possibly rig in favor of somebody I've been hearing about, perhaps Ellis Cummings.
Ellis Cummings is being brought into the fray. The various Ellis Cummings gives to his foundation. This is the hypocrisy of the politicians. If it doesn't go their way, then resentment and bitterness factor in.
The stranger in the political terrain, but it's possible.
Everybody in Liberia is, of course, praying for peaceful elections. But if there are signs of the kind of rigging that you just mentioned, what is the way forward then?
We want peace. We need peace. We deserve peace. But because we need peace, we deserve peace, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who also signed onto that document, she live by the peace. By being neutral in our election. The only say I believe she can have is to put a one vote, in one vote, but not to interfere. Nobody want to run away. I have established foundation. I have big schools, and we graduate students every year. They pass wire. We don't want any trouble here. But we cannot spend our millions for election and you go and rig.
So if that happens?
If that happens, there will be a national civil response. A national civil response.
What method?
As a national civil response, they will use the constitution because their peace and their future will be in danger. So they will respond.
Well,
to say
exactly
no to regulation.
What does it exactly mean, this response?
With all of the trouble we are faced with right now, I listen to Mr. Bernard Ure, I listen to Aaron Costa, I listen to Honorable Yeke Koluba. Everything they have said boiled down to, we don't want to remove the president, we just want him to do the right thing. Go back to the men of God. The solution is not reshuffling cabinet. Those you call enemies are not their enemies, they are your brothers, they are Liberians. They want to see Liberia move in a straightforward way. If you don't listen to me, I will travel back to Nigeria to seek advice, whether I should continue my support or I should withdraw my support. You have been set aside. You are no more the crowd or the people you used to be with, Mr. President. Start witnessing Chelsea and Barcelona show. Every time I went there, this is all they were watching. I heard just a few days ago the president wanted to do reshuffle, that's good. But you may be moving people you think they buy and putting the worst people that will give you pepper and damage the regime. Go to Prophet TB Joshua. You went after you succeeded and became president. The very people who are praying for us not to win are the people now we befriend. They become our Holy Father. If we used to drink, let us leave it and live a holy life. If we used to womanize, let us remember today that not every woman is free of being demon possessed. You are now a president, but your regime from its starting is characterized by social demonstration, social trouble. Are you asking yourself why is it so? Yesterday, the country giant moving, opposition gave way. The people are now saying they're calling us all of our country devil. He built houses that were burned, zinc houses, to concrete. The same people now voting against the Kennedy and speaking ill about their own son. Whoever is advancing is a wrong advice. So when you don't pray for peace and do the right thing, when things go bad, we are all in danger. My solution to the problem is to go back to the men of God.
Go back to the men of God. Senator Prince Yomi Johnson. So there's a pattern here. This train started to being derailed long time ago. It's not overnight. It is not an overnight event to get to this point. And then the president, after accepting the nominations of his party, he decided to go in his comfort zone. And it was like, enough is enough. And then he took off his political glove to fire back.
Every day, are you infallible? Okay, we know what you get where you want to go. Now you can say, government market, what government pay you? Do you know why you get in the country? we're trying to make sure that everybody was inclusive. You understand? So, we're not afraid of anybody. And the government going to be tied, or blackmailed by anybody. You don't want to work with us? You want to see that. You have the people. And you got to know that the coalition, and the coalition brought everybody on board. If you the leader of the coalition is leaving, you got to deal with all the people. Those are in the job because we're moving the whole people that are coming. Oh, we're leaving all that. You must know. They are all livelihood. They don't follow them. They got to stick for your own livelihood, and your children, and your family. Don't mind them. Don't mind them. When you follow them, because you think that.
All right. We're going to see the worst of that. If you want to go, the people you come with, go with all of them. That's the trumpet. That's the echo. You heard Roosevelt down. They are following their headmaster. So now, in Liberia, looking at this, it's with these ministers, assistant ministers on the ticket of Prince Johnson, if he's walking or like he has already walked out, what becomes of them? Will they follow their leader? And the president has been definitive on that. It is a clear indication that this race is going to get ugly. We are just saying it's just starting. So tighten your belt. Until then, I'm Afonso Zayen. So I want to thank you so much for your time this evening, morning, to depend on your location. And we'll continue to have these consequential conversations. It is the traditions of this network. We don't usually play it into a soundbite or something perhaps your purpose of coming for you to hear. That's not what we do here. Sometimes we talk some things that get under your skin, but we also understand that that's how it's supposed to be. And we want to thank you. That's part of that. You still come here, and we want to make every voices to be heard. Whatever segments of the political background you are coming from is about Liberia, and no one should be left behind. That is our argument. By God's willing, same time, same stations, we'll be here again, Sync Network, for more conversations. And the panelists, the contributors, representing different interests at their own volition, will be here to dissect, analyze their views, their opinions about what is happening in Liberia. I want to thank you so much. Have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
You only have a limited audience, limited to people who have data and have access to the internet, right? Now we're on radio, so we've expanded the pool of listeners, and because we in LPR are in the business of educating our people, whether it's political education or academic education or health education. Now we have access to a vast majority of the Liberian population that we can now interact with. And as far as the ambassador goes, I'm excited to hear what he has to say. I hope, and I know the brother he's very smart. So I hope he brings some substance today, like he always does, and not just give us bare bones. But I know Louis Bryan. I know he's very articulate. He's a very smart man. So I'll be listening to hear what he has to say and what he has to proffer and how he all of those negative things that have been put out there about his selection. I'm hoping to hear from him and how he hopes to move Team Cummins forward and how they hope to move Liberia forward.
Government, it did not meet your core values?
I resign. Before I resign, I issue a 13-page press statement. It's on the internet. If you check, you'll find it. And then the president subsequently called me back into government because at that time, she had sent all the cabinet ministers home for 2 weeks compulsory leave. I was one of those that she called back. And I said, no, I'm not coming back into your government because what I believe you will do is not what you are doing. This country went into civil conflict and over 300,000 people were killed because of bad governance. And I see the same thing
happening,
being done by you. The same thing is happening.
That's why you told the president?
Yes, in a conversation with her. And I said, thank you, but I'm not coming back to the government. Anything good in Liberia. Louis Brown was National Security Advisor to Charles Taylor, man. That was the time I was tortured.
This seems to me ANC now.
Let them be redeeming themselves. They laid the foundation for the suffering that is happening today. No. It's not in good faith. Isn't it the same Louis Brown who said to President Salif, Kennedy president, that no one since 1847 has so desecrated the executive mansion equal to President Kennedy, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. It was not even a month after he was appointed to be Minister of Information for that same President Sirleaf. And he was propagating everything. When he was asked by the journalist, he said, when you are far from President Sirleaf, you see a bad woman. When you come close to her, you see a good person. That sounded very opportunistic to me.
For being here, and especially in these difficult times. I thank the Liberian people for their kind attention. All over this country, in every village and town, across every region and community, from mosques to churches, from markets to schools, from prisons to hospitals, across all political parties, ministries, agencies, and institutions of the government, no Liberian needs me to tell them that things are bad and only getting worse. Sadly, President Weah and few of his officials who are overseeing and benefiting from the downfall of our country either do not understand this or simply do not care.
Mazuma, Twaga, ni meti ka vuza va za bazo kono kono go bo manga wo welu ni to page ni meti ni to bazo wo damaga ni na page ni na page to aga nuva go wo nazu ga wo se ga nu wala ada yu eva ma amara ma no teni no go koni tena no go koni gada gari zika karawizo gaka na kawara ga gaka no gari zika karawizo ka no nuva go na ga ya zi na tasi giziga was adisi adabra wara na go ne adaka ka was even na wa magalizo voza azo my yo abana ma nuva yo abana na adapa ada mama no adi zai so amana zai na wata ina pagi ni titeke lo tilava gana glava la le ina pagi go busu ga witazo kaga busu ovama gona wo welo gama ina pagi